Okay, we're live.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome you to the committee meeting of the Corporation of the Township of Bon Cher Valley. It's Tuesday, October 21st, 2025 at 1:30, well, actually 1:40 p.m. We had a little delay because there's construction going on just outside our front door, and that caused some a challenge for us. We are in the council chambers and meeting via Zoom conferencing. I call the meeting to order. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda as circulated?
I would just like to add a new business, and if we could add it under recreation, perhaps, just topic Halloween.
Okay.
Or Sarah, I'm not sure who.
Let's start with Kevin.
Do we, will that include that with Kevin's report or no? It'll be,
Sure.
okay. Consider that done. All right, and
And I would like to add a closed session pursuant to section 239.2 of the Municipal Act for a proposed or pending acquisition of the land by the municipality.
we'll put that as 11.1.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, are there any declarations of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Oh, we should confirm the agenda. Can I have a mover, please? Merv, in favor? Passed. Okay, oh, I see. So are there any declarations of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? I see none. Now we can approve the minutes from the past meeting, and there's actually so I'd like to entertain movement approval of the minutes for October 7th, 2025 committee meeting. Are there any changes or errors? Okay, a motion to approve. Merv again, and in favor? Very good. No delegations today.
We had a special meeting as well.
That was canceled on that.
I thought that was.
Oh, yeah, it was council.
Okay,
Right.
that's okay. I made the same mistake.
Yeah,
Very
because it
good.
was during the day.
Yeah.
Okay. So our very first report today is from Kevin McGran. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Kevin.
So we'll start out the arena. All our groups are going into full operation after Thanksgiving there now, so everybody's in full swing. Our parent and taught have started also. We had one public skating on a PA day. All our sponsors for the public skating has been filled through the end of the season, and we have 4 dates left in February, or 4 dates left in the year for the senior parent and tots. So we had a great response for that. Eagles Nest, we have some bookings up there. Youth Summit was up on Friday. It was good turnout.
It was fantastic. I know Sarah will report on it and I'll report on it in my mayor's report in a couple of weeks, but it was just a great day
Good, a big turnout.
with the youth, yeah.
All our public washrooms will be shut down after Thanksgiving. I'm leaving one open a little longer because the construction is a tourist booth, but it's just, we're gonna watch the weather on that and.
It's a good idea.
Gerald Tracy Park, we had posts made over the summer, so this fall we installed them, took down the smaller ones, the lumens that were getting vandalized, and put the metal ones in, so make it more secure. The banners will be going up after Thanksgiving, hope this week or next week. Splash pad is shut down. Our play structure. So our play structure was installed. Anyways, I put some pictures in the back of it there. So
Thank you for including the pictures, but I think that once again, we do need to have sort of a formal unveiling to thank the Eganville Rotary Club, the Eganville and Area Community Development Group, obviously our staff, and Killee Wood Products. So they donated the mulch underneath which has a value of about $2,500 to $3,000. And that is a lovely community partner initiative. I had the pleasure of being at Killarney Wood Products when the minister was here. And they are very keen in being a huge part of this community. So I think that, you know, this just shows such lovely involvement from a business.
So, any questions from council or any?
Can I just ask, in terms of, you know, the weather and snow and whatnot, is there a thought about when we would do this? Because if we want to do it before the snow hits.
My hope would be before council on oh, you're not back.
The week after?
Yeah. Or even later that week. But I think that we need, the playground structure is a huge thing and a thank you. And also the new crosswalk, but the warning lights aren't at the crosswalk yet. So maybe by that point, it'll all be done and we can do them together. Cause these are pretty big things in our municipality. I can't believe how far you had to dig down, by the way, for the play structure. That's,
Well, we dug down, we didn't know exactly what was gonna be underneath there, so we dug down and we brought some sand, put sand underneath it too, and then we put mulch just for drainage, so we didn't really know what was gonna be underneath, so. we
Gotcha.
Put sand on it. Filled
Well-
it with mulch then.
weirdly enough, at EDPS this morning, one of the kids said a playground structure at Legion. And she said at the splash pad, and I said, well, funny you should ask.
I can make that.
Yes, that's right. If I wiggle my nose, if you go up to Legion Field right now, the playground structure is there, and she just went, oh. Like she was very excited, like if, yeah, because I know that this has been something that's been asked about.
Mm.
So that target date you're thinking of, is that before what, the November 4 meeting, or do we need a little later from there?
Later for
Okay,
mayor.
right.
Maybe we could organize something,
Following Tuesday?
what's that?
Like the following Tuesday?
We don't have council the following,
That's Remembrance Day. So
Oh, it's
Oh, it is.
Remembrance Day.
actually, you know what, if we're all gonna be at Remembrance Day, it might not be a bad thing in the afternoon to go. After our celebrations at the Legion,
Mhm.
why don't we do that?
I'm game. I'm on call for my other job, but but it's certainly we could do that if we pick the time. I mean to be there, and
Okay,
so maybe immediately after.
yeah, I wouldn't do it before the celebrations at all, but yeah. At 1 o'clock or after the lunch,
We'll put photo ops.
Yeah. so everybody come photo ready. Open with you. All right.
Okay, that's my report for.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks, Kevin.
So my other business,
yeah.
I was gonna mention, and I'm not sure, Kevin, if this is a you thing or a Sarah thing, so forgive me. But I thought I would just mention the lovely post that went up by the township on my appointment, and I got some interesting messages. And one of them, people were asking about, you know, bringing back some of the things that had happened in the past, and I said, like, what kind of things are you thinking about? Anything in particular? And so one of the things that was mentioned, and it's also something that's been on my mind, is well, the thing that's been on my mind has been Halloween. But what was mentioned was the kids parade, Halloween parade. So 8-10 years ago, we used to do it, and I know that that the participation was dwindled, and so it sort of stopped happening. But it might be an idea to see if it's something that would get some traction again and bring people out. There does seem to be more kids around these
I
days.
agree.
And I think that people would just, if it's, I'm not sure that it's a huge job to organize, if we're just saying we're having it, this is the time and place and putting the word out, but we could just gauge the kind of interest. And I think, you know, there is probably enough time to do it, but I leave that in the hands of staff. I just give the information that this was an ask, and so I pass that along. But one thing that, in addition to that, ask and seeing if there is, if there's capacity to do something like that right now, and put that on. And if there was, I would maybe suggest that it be either the day after or earlier on the night of Halloween, since it's on a Friday. So like a 5 o'clock kind of thing, or it could be the day after, come, Halloween's not over yet, put your costumes back on. Those are just two thoughts off my head. Other people would probably have others.
So I really like the idea of the arena parking lot, 5 o'clock before the kids start trick or treating.
Mhm.
Because some of the little kids start quite early,
Yeah.
despite that it's not quite dark. But even if it was just the arena parking lot and, they got to show off their costumes, again, I don't know if staff have the time. I think that we need to leave it with that,
Mhm.
with them, but, by the way, now that you're back on council, I've been asked about the Amazing Race by four.
I've been asked that too.
So-
We have time.
I'm just putting it out there,
Yeah.
So, and that, at least the staff didn't have to organize that.
Not a big deal, the only, not a big deal at all, is figure skating starts at 4:30
Oh.
on Friday night of Halloween. But we'll have to see, maybe they'll be canceling because it is, and
Yeah.
sometimes they do,
Mm.
so. Cause they have big groups and they also run can skate that night too, so which is the big numbers. So we'll have to see what they're doing.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to check with them and see if they're,
Because of their
Or
certain
if they-
programs, their kids are gonna be on the ice from 4:30 to 8.
Oh, that's prime trick or treating time.
So that's like,
yeah, you guys
this.
can do it at 4 o'clock. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And then they go
yeah.
to, cause they're finished school.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyways, I'm just.
It's not gonna occur on a road, a public road,
No, I would say the parking lot,
so
just,
it's,
so when we
Sure.
did it before, we would walk the kids from here.
Yep.
Down to the arena, or even from the corner down to the arena, and then they'd have games. But as Meredith said, it was huge the first few years. Numbers started to dwindle. I don't know if that was, cause and effect of the kids getting older and not a new influx of kids. But there are a lot more young families
Yeah.
now. I just being at EDPS, there are 32 kids in the kindergarten class.
mhm.
So that's a huge influx of children and the parents might really appreciate something like that after school. But
we should organize it and build it and they will come.
Well, I think if figure skating's on, we shouldn't, because I think that's
Cause
probably,
our Santa Claus parade had trouble with that.
but I think
Yeah.
if figure skating is canceled,
Mhm.
then I think we just need to see, like, it's, staff's obviously already booked to work for figure skating, so if figure
That's great.
skating
Right.
cancels, then we have staff there.
Yeah.
The kids can use the washroom.
Because
Right.
there's big numbers in the figure skating program,
Mhm.
so that's your numbers.
Yeah.
That's your parade right there.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, and I wonder if it is an issue on the Friday with figure skating, if the Saturday would be something or
The
not.
best thing we could ask is ask figure skating, because
Yeah,
so I would start there.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
start there.
Can we direct
and I
staff
don't
to
want
do
to
that?
be prescriptive about it, but just to give the idea and
Yeah.
think it would be lovely if it's possible. And if it's not possible, put it on the radar for next year
Mhm.
as well. Just knowing that there's the ask. So part two is, and this is less recreation,
Or Sarah.
more Sarah, or more council really.
Yeah,
Is that, should I hold it for
Yeah.
the next part? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll come back at
Is
the
it-
next business.
you're good, Kevin. You're all good.
Thank you.
Thanks for the photos of the play structure.
Mhm.
We were already posting it on Facebook. I hadn't even gotten to see it.
Yeah,
It was brand new.
yeah.
Okay, is Daryl with us in the building?
Oh, we should have asked Kevin to grab them.
I'll get him. Need a little intercom. Daryl.
He's already gone now.
Hi, Tracy.
I'd shout, but that would be very undignified of me.
Sit from that.
The month.
Thanks.
October, yeah. I wore all my pink stuff to county council.
Daryl.
I didn't have anything pink to wear, so I wore my ribbon.
Looking forward to the building and fire report.
Levels on fire. So we've, our year's getting busy again, but we can't control it.
We're not even in really chimney season yet.
No, not yet, but. We just keep working on it, educate people as much as we can. So we've had, better put these on so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, so we had 5 last month, but, we've already had 5 this month. So we're only 2/3 of the way through. But again. Certain, a lot of them have been minor, so nothing major, so. So. So I wanted to share with you about this fire truck. That somebody brought it to my attention, and it has ties to Eganville.
The Bickles.
Yeah, the Bickle. It goes back a long way. I didn't even know that it existed till this gentleman reached out to me. So I just wanted to share it with you. I mean, he was asking if we'd be interested in pictures in it, and I said, I highly doubt it. I mean, they want 10,000, it probably needs that in restoration.
Yeah.
And then where do we house it? You know, so I just thought it was a nice piece of memorabilia to just bring forward. So he's gonna have a look at it as, but this is where we started and this is where we are today. So
And it would be lovely if we had room somewhere out front.
the glass,
To-
the glass.
Yes.
Glass, yeah.
I am wondering, just having read the tax receipt, policy bylaws that's being proposed, if perhaps you'd be interested in a tax receipt for a donation instead of being paid, if that's worth the just asking the question. And then we
Reach out
could
to 'em.
consider that.
It is about where to put it though as well,
It is, where do we house it?
because now you're housing most of your apparatus here,
Right.
not in Foyno.
Yes.
So I think that's gotta be,
Mhm.
that's a you problem.
I know Douglas has one just like this. They actually used it for Terry McHale's funeral.
And they use it in parades too.
And they use it in parades, so it is
Well,
quite lovely if we
yeah.
can, if we know the answer, then we can see if there's a place.
That would be, I mean, we have a 93 that we're gonna have to surplus next year, because it has no place to go. And I'll reach out, and see what they say. I'm not sure what this gentleman must have just stumbled across it himself, so he's already done the research on it. Which is-
Yeah, and he says he found a photo from Eganville,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he traced it back, so. Okay.
It's a great photo just for the museum.
I wish there was a place there for it.
I know that Cobden has an old one too, and I don't know whether it's this old or not,
Really?
because Terry McHale's funeral. They took the fire truck over to the church and put the casket on the back of the fire truck and took it out to the cemetery.
That is tradition for fire chiefs.
Mhm.
But the
It's scary to watch them do
fire
it.
truck fire truck is stored at Cobden Fire Department.
Mhm.
Oh, it was Cobden.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it,
It was Douglas,
I thought it was Douglas too.
but it could be from Cobden.
Yeah, it might be.
This is Cobden's, yeah. I don't know if Douglas has one or not, but this one is Cobden.
Mhm.
Interesting.
So. It's been a long time coming, but the community risk assessment has been attached. It is quite a large document.
Mhm.
There's a lot of information in there.
Was it exciting?
There was a lot of stats being inputted. It was quite the process. So,
Oh, no, I've got 3 pages of notes, so you go. ahead.
Oh, okay.
well, before we go,
Yeah.
just say, it's a living document.
Yeah.
So a lot of that was in there is suggestions. It's not written in stone that we have to do it. It's just something we may want to take a look at some point.
I was just gonna say, given the size of it was 295 pages for anyone counting at home. I would be interested in like an executive summary from you on what do you think are the most important upgrades or changes or needs?
Funny you should say that.
Because I think that would help me understand how to focus on it and where, I think there's a lot to it, so that would be a good next step in my mind.
It's probably gonna take a while, but I'll get it to you as soon as I can.
If materials left in the document, that are good ideas, like the reverse 911 process. Does it bind us if we put it in there as a possibility for the future?
No, as far as the OFM is concerned, our say area is done,
Right, our legislative requirement is
done.
complete.
it's complete.
And I'm sure they'll read all 295 pages of it too. So I had a few things, there were some things in the geographic profile risks, the ERP, the emergency response plan for detour routes. I found that very interesting. And knowing the challenges that they had on Highway 17 with the accident near the garrison, and the garrison was doing live rounds. It was very difficult to detour people. I just thought that was something that was very important, or could be very important, especially with our downtown. You did indicate though, Daryl, we do have the two bridges, which does leave us in a fairly good position, but still thought that was really good. The thing about private roads, I think that one of the things we could do very effectively is communicate some of the risks surrounding the canopy, the tree canopy, road maintenance, snow maintenance. One of the things a former chief did was he reached out to the road associations and said, if you would like him to come, or a firefighter to come and sort of risk assess their road, they'd be happy to do that. I think it's, it's an easy and free service that we could give to ensure that we can get to these residents.
And
Yeah.
I have, but people call me, and I have a sheet in my office that I tell them the size of the truck, the weight of the truck, turning radius, what we do need, but we just, a lot of times I don't go out, but if they call, I will give them information.
Excellent, okay. One of the things that was noted as a potential risk is that our fire department does not have a UTV. Well, we're not really in charge of medical calls, and our Renfrew County Paramedic Service does. And in fact, our Sierra team is the team that would help out our fire department. Thank goodness for great partnerships. I can send this to you in an email. Our new zoning bylaw does allow for secondary suites. They talked about a bylaw for the OBC and the OFC standards. I thought that would be within your purview and not something that a bylaw would need to be passed. I will leave that in your capable hands. Critical infrastructure, talking about Next Gen 911. It's actually in our county package for tomorrow. So that's something that we are taking on at the County of Renfrew. So it'll be easy for you to sort of slip it into your CRA.
Yeah.
I did note, of course, natural gas is in Eganville and is going to go live. So that should probably be rectified, just,
Yeah, I was toying with that, whether to actually put it in, because I know it was coming, but we don't have it just yet, but it's just a quick amendment. to the-
Yeah, no, it was something I noted. In the demographic risks, one of the things I noticed was that they are recommending that cottage rentals be considered short-term accommodation, and, the idea behind a bylaw to have sort of a registry of these cottages. I will tell you that unless that's voluntary, it will not fly. I don't see how we can regulate whether somebody's cottage is used or not used as a rental during the summer when the residents aren't using it. That's my opinion. It's not the opinion of council. So in the hazards, one of the things that I noticed, the mail delivery, thought that was ironic timing. That mail delivery was seen as a potential hazard, right, for communication. Thought that was funny. Under public safety, the ministry names are incorrect. It says Northern Development, Mines and Natural Resources. They're different ministries now.
Okay.
That's old news. That's like, 3 months ago ministries. They're all different now.
It'll change again in a
Right? You might not want to change it.
No,
You know what you could do? Just instead of saying ministry of, say ministries of,
responsible for.
and then list them.
I've been staring at this thing so long,
Yeah.
some days I just gloss over.
It was fresh eyes, and I honestly thought it was a very interesting read.
Mhm.
Community service. Do we have a Salvation Army that will come in if need be?
I think there's one in this. Is there not one in Pembroke, Salvation Army?
No, see, I don't think there is. I'm not even sure there's one in Renfrew.
It
anymore.
used to be.
Okay, I'll have to look
Yeah.
at that.
But they're-
So Yeah, and with reference to the food bank, it says the Renfrew Food Bank, it should be Eganville. And you know this fire underwriter survey where they gave you the list of
Yeah,
timing of inspections? I don't think that's doable with our budget
No,
or our resources.
but if you look at the top, it says, you don't have to do it, it's just,
Yeah.
you know, something that you may want to look at.
I just don't want somebody to read that and think, oh, no, they have to do these inspections.
No,
Again, living document, and I love that you said that. But, and also I love that they compared us to Muskoka. I was like, ooh, that is a whole different ballgame.
well, when I was in GM, they were comparing Calabogie to the Eastern Ontario of Muskokas,
Oh, yeah, I could see that, I guess.
so it's not that far away.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, all right. Anyway, those were just some of the things I noted. That some of the stats though are very, very, very interesting.
Mhm.
You know, the losses over each year and yeah,
yeah, and I just pulled them from our SRI stats that I get from the OFM when I send in my quarterly reports.
right.
They send me back an analysis, so.
But yeah, anyway, thank you for including it. Legislatively, I don't know why, but I did enjoy the read and I think it does give us an idea, you know, of some of the potential hazards we could have. And after this 2017 and 2019 floods, not sure it's a bad document to have
No,
for our use, actually. Forget about the province. Yeah,
and again, it's a living document, and if you could send me all those like the emails of the changes you would like to
Yeah.
see, it's not a big deal.
I was kind of bringing them up because I wanted to open it up to council just to
Yeah.
make sure that I wasn't offside. These were not criticisms. They were literally things that I was like, oh, wait a minute, should it have been, or am I reading it wrong? Because I'm not always right when I read something. And even the Renfrew Food Bank is that if we had a disaster here in Eganville and needed to reach out to a bigger and better food bank. Not better, sorry, just a larger food bank. So, yeah, but again, fascinating. And I don't want to have another emergency.
No.
It reminded me of, back when I was on council, that we were going through the pain of the asset management plan. And as much of a pain as it was to have to do it, what an incredible and necessary thing it is. Because it gets you looking ahead at where are we going, what are we gonna need in the future, and I think it's a very, there's a lot of work on your part, but I think very worthwhile, and I appreciate it, so thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, because as we grow, like as the township grows or the Eganville grows and outlying areas, we have to go with it. It's gonna
absolutely.
be more pressure on everything.
Well, even we don't have an aerial truck. They're not saying that we need an aerial truck.
Mhm.
But when you brought in the new truck, your crew was saying, oh, we're gonna put a gun on the top.
The deluge gun is gonna be on the second one.
So there were things like that, and I couldn't agree with Meredith more. When they brought in asset management, I think we all sort of railed against it and thought, the province is never gonna read this, not realizing that it really is a living document, right? Sometimes we change the asset that we replace, for out of necessity. And then, you fast forward a couple of years and you go, oh, I'm so glad we did that.
Mhm.
It was short-term pain for long-term gain, kind of like the construction outside of your office.
So 2 points. I think the Salvation Army may have been mentioned, because that, if I remember from our emergency exercise 2 years ago, they're the ones who have the trailers with cots, blankets and other things, if you had to set up a school gym into a temporary shelter.
Red Cross.
That was Red
I
Cross,
was
yes.
I'd have been
That-
mistaken
Okay.
with the Salvation Army with the Red Cross.
No, and that-
Would be my error too.
No, you've got Red Cross.
Do I?
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay,
But when I read Salvation Army, I forgot about Pembroke, but I think that the Renfrew one shut down, and that's why I thought you don't want that as a resource. Like if somebody was going, oh, we need these resources, you don't want somebody thinking that there still is one. I think our first two people are Vickers and Red Cross, correct? Yeah. So, and you've got them in there, so.
and that's good. So this report is it submitted to the ministry? They're perusal.
If they ever showed up at the door and they asked to see it, we produce it.
I'm glad, I think that's,
Well said, Daryl, well said.
okay.
It will sit on a shelf. That is what Daryl is trying to tell you,
And live and breathe.
and live and
Live
breathe,
and breathe, yes.
yes.
It's,
And yes, I'm happy to send you my adjustments, but these were literally not condemnation of this
No.
document at all. Simply like, I was questioning myself as I was going through it.
there was compiling the stats was challenging.
They are also living and breathing.
Yeah, yeah, because every, they're talking about the growth of Renfrew County is gonna be a percentage.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you very much for that.
okay.
But as Meredith said, I started reading and I went down the rabbit hole and I didn't know when to stop reading. Because I've made that mistake before. Where I've read a document and then found out that the next document was the executive, so.
Yeah, I did go by page 100 and something went and checked.
Yes.
Yeah, and so on the building side, so. Our permits are a little bit lighter than last year, but if you look at September this year to September last year, we're not that far off. About $800,000 difference, so. They kind of stopped coming in, but every time I say that, I get inundated, so,
Keep saying it then.
yeah.
Maybe that's like when I watch a Jays game and they lose, so I've stopped watching Jays games. See that?
Thank you.
You all?
So and again, I mean, I think I had nine permits last month.
Yep.
And our septics are down, but I mean, we're half of what we had last year and even half the money, but that's, there's not a lot of new, there's a few houses going up. The last two were quite extensive. Their permitted value, but their estimated value was quite high.
So you just brought up a really good point that I had not thought of. So if you get a building permit for an unusually large size house, does that trigger you checking the septic anyway?
I check the septic when it comes in to the house to make sure that it's designed to take what the house is giving.
Right, so if they're going from 1 bathroom to 3 bathrooms,
The last
interesting.
house I have is 7 bedrooms,
Okay.
so we had to make sure that the design for the septic fit the house.
Of course.
To be honest with you, when they first came in, it was over designed. Like really over designed, so I talked to the engineer and we sorted it out, brought it down to, because it was a large footprint.
Right. Interesting. I've never thought of that until right now.
And last year, there was a lot of building. Was that in 2024? Would that have been 2023? That with the new buildings and apartments?
They started in
But they-
23, the first one, and they just received occupancy for the second one.
Yeah, I was just wondering if that skewed the 24 numbers.
A
Somewhat,
little
yeah.
bit, somewhat,
Yeah.
yes, because they come in quite large, so values, so,
Monetary values, but not permit numbers.
yeah, monetary value, for sure.
Well, thanks for that.
Okay.
Thanks, Daryl.
Sandra Barr, are you ready?
Yes,
Here we go.
so the October 15th budget report is in your package along with the balance sheet as of September 30th. Just look at the balance sheet real quickly, on the first page.
It's the
So-
fourth document in the pack.
Sorry,
And that's document 4 under, just make sure I'm on the right one. September 30th ending?
Yeah,
Okay,
balance sheet.
got it.
just comparing 24 to 2025, as of the end of September, our cash position was approximately $200,000 less than the previous year, which not really concerned about that, just where we're at in the year. And then taxes receivable at the end of September this year to the end of September 2024 were up approximately 141,000. Further down, miscellaneous accounts receivable, very close in line. We're up just over $3,000 from the previous year. I just wanted to point those few things out that were on the balance sheet. And did anybody have any questions?
Sorry, just for my edification, because I, trying to catch up. The reserves are down significantly. What's,
It's just where we're housing the money.
Okay.
In 2024, we had our excess money down in a reserve savings account.
Mhm.
And you'll see like 3.4 million in 2024, but now it's 500,000.
Yeah,
Because we're actually getting better interest income in our main account.
okay, good, thank you, I
Yeah,
appreciate
so
that.
they asked us just to move, our bank recommended we just move it up into the,
Makes perfect sense.
yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
And you're working with the people, the taxes receivable, yes?
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes. On September 17th, I attended an OMERS webinar on leave purchases, because they're changing how they're going to do that for 2026, so that'll be interesting. They're saying they're taking over more of the management of it, so that will be nice.
Devil will be in the details.
Yes. Calculated out 2 additional property assessment tax batches, totaling just over $10,000. In 2025, we received $490,411 in funding from the province through the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund. We've received our notice that our OCIF allocation will decrease by 10% for next year. So it's a reduction of $49,000, bringing our 2026 allocation to $441,370.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not the chair, sorry.
I'm not listening.
Sorry.
I recognize,
Councillor Jameson. Was there a rationale as to why?
No.
No? Did others go up? Like, is there any?
I didn't see other
Value?
people's numbers.
Okay. I'm just wondering if there's any value in perhaps.
The OCIF fund, I believe, was reduced for 2026. It was not increased
On the whole,
on the
so
whole.
everyone's getting
Yes,
potentially.
the partnership fund is going up of $500,000. It was 100.
100 mil. What,
It was 100. It
It
was
went up from 550 to 600 mil,
sure.
Yeah, so 50 mil.
So another 50 mil this
Yeah.
year. Okay, yes, so partnership fund. I hope will go up because
We did last
we're
year.
gonna talk about, yes, but a lot of people's did not.
Mhm.
And if you want to talk about strange accounting, nobody still to this day, after all these years, can tell me how the partnership fund or OCIF is doled out. So it's kind of frustrating to your point.
Mhm.
And we were 15% decrease the year before.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why I was like, it seems a bit random.
Yeah.
I was
you
wondering.
have a comment?
Just. Sandra can correct me if I'm wrong. I think the OCIF is the one where the minimum is 125,000.
Yeah,
And if your municipality didn't file the documents with the province, your OSIF, which ours was, quite high, $500,000, a little under, would have gone all the way down to 125,000. And there are municipalities in Renfrew County that are very unfortunate to have that.
Mm.
Oh,
Yes, yes, we're cut, but we did file the appropriate paperwork, so we're not losing like $300,000.
And this council thanks you and our
yeah.
Mhm.
finance officer for that.
Don't forget to check on Tracy just because she's behind me. So
Very good. Yes, it's,
okay, this next one is very upsetting to me.
yes. On September 26th, we received a letter from the Solicitor General regarding updates to the unit billing costs for municipalities. So an 11% cap is being established on the increase in policing costs owed by municipalities for the 2026 calendar year. So essentially, our policing cost is going up 11% for next year.
So I see this as a delegation request at Roma, number one. And Kersner will absolutely not take the delegation, but I guarantee we will not be the only ones. It will be all over Roma, but also I wish I'd read this. on Friday morning, Sandra, because I had a Roma board meeting on Friday. And I would have done exactly what I did when this happened this year. What I will do is I will put it out to the chair of Roma and AMO policy because it was AMO policy that in the end took my chart and went to the province and said, look at this. So my only concern is that they're going to say, yes, we're increasing, I mean, this is the estimation of the entire cap, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so
So-
if they put ours up 11%.
Oh, they, for sure, 11%.
84,000,
Okay, which is more than 2%. And we haven't blinked.
yeah,
Okay,
bringing our policing costs to 8.5 million.
which
Or 855,000,
55,000,
sorry.
which is ridiculous. And when we're being told that ASC is 100% not going to be allowed, even in school zones, because it's a cash grab. Our argument is, well, wait a minute, we can't afford more officers. You don't have more officers. So this is not a cash grab. This is a tool for us to, number one, stop speeding in our most vulnerable areas of the township, especially around our schools. And secondly, maybe it wouldn't hurt so much if we could fund these OPP increases, but we can't. And so I do not believe that 2026 is going to be any different than 2025. I think that they're going to have to roll out that $77 million fund or whatever it's going to be to cost, or whatever it's going to cost across the province. I will get on with all of the people that I contacted last time. I will get all their new information, what that means on their tax bills. As I said, this is more than 2%, which is scary. And send it to AMO policy. But I don't know, after what happened earlier this year, they could actually think that this was acceptable. And what I don't want to hear is that we've increased the partnership fund by 50 million. And therefore that's going to soften the blow of this 11%, because I don't believe it will. Last year, our increase in partnership fund did not cover our entire increase in OPP. We were still down just under 1%. I could pull up my spreadsheet. I believe it was around 0.7 or 0.8%. And so no matter what, this is going to be a hot topic. And why they roll it out right now as everybody's getting ready for Roma and ready to put in their delegation requests. This is ridiculous. And quite frankly, we can't afford it. And I don't know what more we can tell the province about the costing of OPP and this ladder jumping of different police forces that are, that one goes up and the other one leapfrogs it. So leave that in my tiny little brain. I am going to reach out with council's permission. This is why I waited until today. With council's permission, I am going to do exactly what I did earlier this year. I did that without council's permission. I apologize because it was 11:30 at night and I was just emailing everybody. But I will collect the data from I think I had not quite 100 municipalities, and I will get the information needed to send to Roma and to AMO. But that's the best I can do at this point.
I think Ford must have got a caught on one of those photo radars or something.
Well, his people did, and so did I.
Yeah.
I got caught.
Yeah.
For a lot of money in Toronto. I'm still pro automated speed enforcement.
Mhm.
I mean, if you sit in the Eagle's Nest and you watch some of the traffic drive down Jane Street, some of them are flying. They're not doing 60, they're doing more like 70.
The reality is, we don't have enough police to do that.
Mhm.
Absolutely not,
That's the reality.
nor can we afford it.
Yeah.
I jokingly said, give us auxiliary officers as long as they don't cost. But they couldn't do this. Like, if you just take Renfrew County and our schools, we just don't have the officers available to do it. So anyway, that's my rant for October 21st, I think. That might be my only rant.
Meredith.
Thank you. I'm curious, is it a per population calculation
Per household.
per household? It would be interesting to know what this is per person costing in our township. I think,
So it's funny you say that. So at our last meeting, I asked Sandra, there are other municipalities that want to break out the OPP on their tax bills.
yes,
So there, Madawaska Valley is doing it by household instead of by assessment. But realistically, your OPP is by assessment, not by household.
No, but it's a charge per household.
We get charged per household, but on their tax bills.
Oh, yes, correct.
Right, okay, so,
Sorry.
oh, that's also interesting.
Mhm.
So we get charged per household. But when we put it on somebody's tax bill, it's per assessment.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's, okay. So this is why some
Mhm.
municipalities want it broken out, so that people can say, oh my gosh, my tax bill is $3,000. But 800 of it is OPP.
right. I think it's good marketing to do that, frankly, for us and letting people know where their money's actually going, because we often hear, I don't get anything, what do I get for it, right? And so breaking it out to say.
As
this
soon as
is-
you call 911.
Exactly, 911, and part two of what I was gonna say also was, in my last job, I developed a relationship with Minister Kersner. So if I could be of help in any way, please let me know.
He doesn't like me because of fire.
Okay, well, he kind of likes me, so we can use
That's a
that.
secret weapon. And we have gone forward towards creating, I think our pie was an initial idea that would come up with tax bills. And OPP should be right there in blue and white.
Mhm.
But I think also that's, so when we ask, it's a bit onerous for staff to do that. So, but I think that even in our newsletter, we should say, if you were paying this for 100,000, this much is OPP.
Or even just the percentage of it, if it's not breaking down for each person.
Well, the ratepayer is comparatively should know how
Yes.
much it's costing to protect their property from fire
Mhm,
versus from all the things the OPP do.
mhm.
Well, and I think that when people say I get nothing for my taxes, and you say if you phone 911, police, ambulance and fire. You know, I know fire's not a huge budget here, but paramedics and police, and then you add on fire, it adds up.
Mhm.
Anyway, anyway, that's my rant.
So if you take the population at 3,800, which population do you use? The
I know.
full-time or the seasonal, but at 3,800, 2025 is $202 a person.
A person, not a household.
Yeah,
A lot of taxes.
So if I have 4 people living in my house,
Mhm.
you're talking over $800 for just for OPP.
because I just took the 775,000.
Yeah.
More than water.
That's obscene.
And the proper, there was a little bait and switch last year where they announced a huge increase in funds needed for the OPP. And they said, oh, well, we're so nice, we're gonna cover it this year.
No. That came out of the spreadsheet I sent to AMO policy that through Roma.
Which was.
And that went to our person in Kersner's AMO policy for all things Michael Kersner, Bridget Cherry. She took it to the government and they went, whoops, because the letter that they sent in June, Sandra, said that they were going through union negotiations, but did not give an amount.
Oh, okay.
So, and then they brought down this crazy hike in August or so. No, it had to be before AMO. Oh, no, it was before Roma, sorry. September. Okay, and then yeah, so we were in a finance meeting at the county and all of a sudden people were getting this email about their policing. So they retracted because we went nuts that said, you didn't even give us a warning about this. So now what they're going to say is, well, we've given you fair warning for your 2026 budget. Anyway, I think it's ill thought out, to say the least.
And not to say the policing is not, everyone I think would agree is very important and deserve to be paid well for the important work that they do. It's just how that gets transferred to the ratepayer is, you know,
So that,
the question.
and I made sure that our staff sergeant, the last time I went a little woo-hoo over this, I made sure that he understood this was not about police. This was not about the rank and file police. I am pro-police. I'm a police kid.
Mhm.
So this was not anti-police. This was, why is the province not absorbing what they should be absorbing? And then when they handed down the 77 million, I found that quite ironic that they instantly found that money. And
Mhm.
it was not, it wasn't more than, I don't think it was more than 2 weeks. So, anyway,
Was it before an election?
no,
Okay.
post-election.
There's always that, right?
So we'll leave that in,
Well, but,
we'll take that to Roma's hands and see what it does for us.
no, I just wanna make a comment talking about policing. When Killaloe Detachment has to get somebody from some, in the province to fill in so they can give a guy his holidays,
Mhm.
there's something wrong.
Yes,
Well, I think that's also why the amalgamation with UOV was the right move.
Yeah,
they're also suffering from attrition right now. A
Mhm.
lot of police are
30
retiring.
years and out.
Yeah, and there was a big hiring around this time and there's not a lot coming back in, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough times.
So a draft charitable donations policy was included for your review. The policy will act as the foundation for standard operating procedures for issuing official charitable donation receipts to donors for income tax purposes. And if the committee agrees to the policy, we'll bring it back with a bylaw to the next meeting.
I really appreciated it.
Mhm.
I think it's a good policy. I think it's solid. This is one thing where, you know, when we were talking about how AI could be used on our website, I think that that's a great example of where somebody could type in, you know, this is what I'm doing. Can I get charitable receipts? And a chatbot, an AI assistant could come right back.
Chef's kiss.
It was a
Oh.
good document.
Well, thank you, madam.
Easy to read and.
It was.
And I thought it was clear whether,
The only question that I had, and maybe just state it for clarity, is that the library being co-managed or a joint union between us and Algona Wilberforce, that might be
Right.
questionable and people might, so I think we might want to clarify whether the library falls in or out of this policy.
Okay, I don't think
Good catch.
we've ever wrote receipts on their behalf.
I don't think so, but I think it would be just good for people to say, okay,
Right,
this
right.
is or isn't part of it.
but there's a defined percentage to which NAW and BV belong to the library belongs to them. So it still shouldn't be an impossible thing to account for that.
Well, the question would be whether or not Boople itself has registered as being able to write their own receipts.
Yeah.
And so I'll touch base with them, and
Thank you.
if they have, then we're out. They
Right.
don't
Yeah.
fall under our policy, they're their own. If they don't, I know
And
I'm
they
only,
never asked us.
yeah, they've never asked us for
Okay.
a receipt, so then I think if they did, it would then fall under this policy where we'd have to have an agreement with, we'd have to have a discussion about that, because we're writing it for another organization.
Yeah,
But they might have, I'll find it.
I believe they do their own, but
Okay.
it's been a while, so I think it's just
Yeah.
good to have clarity on that.
I'm trying to think of the Friends of the Library dinner and whether they issued them for that.
Mhm.
I don't ever remember getting receipts for that.
Neither do I, but
Frankly, I've never, yeah, I've donated quite a bit.
I know I've never asked.
From the library, so it is a good question. I think they did, but they might not.
And we will have our joint meeting with them, NAW in, before our budget time next year, so.
Right.
You know, we'll get the answer before that time.
Mhm.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But a dinner could fall into that. Where part of your
Exactly.
donation isn't really a donation.
That's right. It's paying for the meal.
Yeah, then the other,
Right.
everything in addition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like going to a political dinner,
Yeah.
right? you get it for the portion that was not the
Not
meal,
the
not
dinner,
the,
Right,
Yeah,
you get, or if you just make it straight monetary, then it's the
yeah,
whole thing.
Or if you go to Bepol Rocks and you get on the dance floor.
That's right, then
twisting your
you,
wrist.
too soon.
I did wonder one other thing about it, and I think it's obvious, but I thought I would just state it. That sometimes a tax receipt in and of itself is an inducement. And so it said there can be no inducement, but the tax receipt itself might be the inducement. So I think maybe even a clear, like, if we need to be extra clear on that, I don't know if we do.
Oh, you're thinking in terms of, I'm not going to buy a ticket to that if I don't get a tax receipt.
No, I'm thinking I'll donate this to the township because I know I'm getting a tax receipt for it. So the tax
Mm.
receipt in and of itself could be the inducement. You say the person's not supposed to be getting anything from it.
Right,
So anything other than the tax receipt itself.
yeah,
I thought it was
see
clear
that.
enough, but that's a good, you can make sure.
Like, I
that's-
don't know if it's overkill. It occurred to me, so I thought I would.
Okay,
yeah. My tax receipts never add up to enough.
No, it's never.
so on October 1st, Annette and I went.
Oh, wait, okay, so everybody good with the policy, Tracy? Sorry, just so that you've got staff direction to bring it forward. Awesome, sorry.
good document.
Okay, Annette and I attended the Eastern Ontario CAO and Treasurer Workshop in the town of Prescott. So it addressed a number of key issues facing municipalities with a strong focus on municipal infrastructure spending, debt management, and the use of reserves. Additional topics of discussion included emerging financial challenges and strategic planning practices aimed at supporting long-term municipal sustainability. It was a good workshop, but
Mm.
it's a little sad.
Were you able to vent a little with your peers?
On October 8th, we received the 6th and final installment of the 2025 Ontario Community Infrastructure Grant for this year. On October 8th and 9th, I attended the Renfrew County Clerks and Treasurers meeting in Pembroke. Some election training, and they updated us on what policy changes they are working on our behalf. The auditors were on site last Thursday and Friday to work on our 2025 interim audit.
Great.
And we have received just over 40,000 from aggregate resources for 2025, which is almost $9,000 more than we received in 2024.
Just have a question about the audited financials. Due to strong mayor powers and knowing that budgets have to be tabled by February 1st, not by us, thank goodness. Are they in more of a crunch to try and get some of these financials out? Like, are we going to be sort of the last kids on the totem pole?
Oh, get pushed behind.
Yeah, just because so let's pretend this table had strong mayor powers and the budget's gotta be tabled by February the 1st. I would encourage our auditors to get those financials to us as quickly as humanly possible, because I don't like going into a budget, and not one council member that I've ever sat with like to go into a budget without knowing exactly where we sat from the year before. I know that there are other councils that seem to go ahead with their budgets. I don't really know how you can do that, not knowing your final numbers. It wouldn't be a best practice in my mind, but others do it. But I'm just wondering, do you feel like is this going to push our audited statements into 2026, or do you think that they're just using their standard operating procedures and?
It's pretty scheduled when they come from year to year
Okay.
based on customers, right? Like, they come here every year right after Thanksgiving to do
Right.
the interim. And our scheduled date for the previous is always right after Family Day. So yeah, I think
Okay,
if we had to push to get budget done earlier, I think you'd see our financials be later. Also, from my perspective as well, because I would have to shift gears and not work on year end. I'd
right,
be working on budget without year end. I like to finish year end, put it to bed,
Yes.
and then start the budget.
But I just don't know how you can do a budget not knowing if you are landing in a wildly surplus position. Or if your budget was a bit skinny, I don't know how you do that. Anyway, that's just my opinion. As of last Friday, AMO policy has not heard anything more on strong mayor powers. I'm hoping that they will go away quietly. Even if we got them, they can put me in strong mayor power jail because I'm not using them. And in fact, I think trying to table a budget by February the 1st is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. I think that we are extremely prudent about how we do our budgets. And with those surpluses that we have year over year, we are very cognizant of where we put them, whether it's in capital reserve or if we utilize some of them. And I think that it would be extremely irresponsible to do it any other way. So that's my second mini rant of the day.
Well said.
I just don't know I don't get it.
Does Sandra have a question to ask of our auditors? I'm sure they are thinking exactly the same things you are, although every municipality is different, so.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've had a trouble with them in the past 3 years, having the information when we needed it at our budget time.
But that's
But that could
interesting.
change.
Sandra just said Family Day, which is mid-February.
Yes, that's right.
So that would be after this ridiculous date of February the 1st. But again, I've been very vocal with my colleagues who do have strong mayor powers. And I literally said, what are they gonna do? Put you in strong mayor power jail? Like, what is it? Where's the carrot or the stick? I don't understand the need for February the 1st. It doesn't align with the provincial budget at all. The province ends on March 31st, so why do they care? Makes no sense. Anyway,
There's been no real true test of strong mayor legislation in some ways, and maybe that's yet to come.
we haven't been through a budget cycle yet with it,
It's true.
right? So this 2026 will be the first budget cycle with strong mayor powers
Yeah,
for those unlucky ones that are a council of 6 or more. Again, a very arbitrary amount.
thank you. Sandra,
Done.
thank you.
We take 5.
Let's take a short break and then we'll hear the CAO's report.
They're fine.
Debbie made me do it.
No, it was private.
Okay, I guess it's me, sorry. So basically, just since my last report, just attended various meetings, Sandra indicated one of them, also, or a couple of them actually, with the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Renfrew County Clerks and Treasurers. Also the Association of Municipal Managers, Clerks and Treasurers of Ontario, Algonquin College, who is struggling with some of their programming right now. So Agnes de Brumley, myself and Pembroke have been meeting with the program there to sort of see what we can do, because we don't want to lose more programs and more things going on there. So working towards how we can help them out in Pembroke. And then Ontario's elections group, that's definitely meeting on every second month right now. And the Renfrew County Recycling Group, a group is meeting monthly now, because the transition is coming January 1st, 2026, and the province just changed the rules. So yeah, so that's got some public works and people, waste individuals sort of trying to figure that out. We have most of our agreements done, so I think we're in really good shape going forward. There's a couple of little tweaks that we have to make with Millers and Barons and our Public Works Department, but I think we'll be fine by January 1st. We're ready to go.
But you guys have been working very, 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 very hard on this.
Yeah, and we seem to be doing fairly well based on my conversation with that group and where everybody else seems to be landing. So I think we've made some good decisions. Also Ministry of Energy, so just following up with our delegation and everything that's going on there with EGC. That continues to move forward, and we do want at least a solution agreed to by the end of the year. That's the goal. Because of course our contract is up in 2027, so working to have that done. And environment also sent off a letter to the Minister of Environment, Todd McCarthy, and
Excuse me.
our MPP Billy Deneau, to just sort of let's have some discussion about waste and snowdrifters and everything that's happening, to see what the best move forward is. So again, we have 4 or 5 years, but we all know that we have to prepare for the future. That time goes way too fast.
And on that, I spoke with MPP Deneau at Taste of the Valley on Saturday. He indicated that he had read our letter. He would be in touch with Minister McCarthy. We of course had a wonderful delegation with the minister. I had never met him before, but he's very engaged. As Billy said, he's a doer, which is really nice. He did understand that we had tried this before many years ago, and that now we were in a situation. And so yeah, so our MPP is taking this very seriously, and we know of course that they have just started sitting as of yesterday. So I am hopeful that Billy will speak with Minister McCarthy sooner rather than later. Yeah.
Also, I did attach a draft parking bylaw. So I know this is not Jason's meeting, but did go over it obviously with both our bylaw enforcement, and went through it with Jason and Dana as well, because the winter is coming. So wanted to bring it forward ahead to this meeting, so that if it was approved in principle, we could bring it back to be passed by bylaw by November the 4th. And really updating language. There was some language in there for, handicap parking versus accessible parking,
Yeah.
just some things that needed to be updated. We also had 2 bylaws, one for our municipal parking lots and one for parking. And there was no reason they couldn't be one bylaw, so sort of brought them into place. And that's really the only other major change. I know it's not major. The only other change is at Jane Street, where the crosswalk is. There's a driveway not far off of that, and there's no parking. I forget what the distance is. I don't know if it's 10 feet from the intersection. And so we wanted that to be a little bit further, because between the driveway and the crosswalk and where that is, it was causing it was causing issues of being able to see around and to turn, and there's kids there. So that is really the only major change, is we push that a little bit further back. It will be signed, of course, before the snow flies, to indicate you can't park right up to this crosswalk and this intersection and this driveway.
Well,
So,
having just been there, the sight line is terrible.
Okay, so you
So-
understand, okay.
Yes, so I was there
Mhm.
last week. I was there 5 times for a wake, and then today, as recently as this morning. And there is literally with the truck,
Mhm.
it is a
Yeah.
truck, and a very large truck,
Mhm.
parked not more than maybe 5 or 10 feet from, and
Yeah.
to inch up
Yeah.
is quite dangerous, so I'm glad to see that.
So Jason made that recommendation, and then McCray Park wasn't built when we did these.
Right.
So it has parking at it, so that's included in there, and I think there is another parking space that's included in there, maybe the post office that just has been there, we've leased the space forever, but for whatever reason wasn't in our municipal parking lot bylaw. And again, I don't know whether we didn't start leasing that until after, so I think the parking bylaw was 2005 and the parking lot bylaw was 2010. So I'm not really sure, but so just made sure those were added.
Oh, it was
And
way before 2010.
yeah, so why it got forgotten, I don't know. So just wanting to make sure that everything was in there. So I think it's a much more complete bylaw. I think it's updated language, and it's more in line with our neighbors, so.
Another great thing for AI assistant.
Mm,
I see you got the guys that parked on the street over winter.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, so we do, we have had signage up, and we do say you can't be parking on the street, obviously for snow plowing. But I mean, we use common sense, we try to be as work with every single person in the municipality that, if it's snowing, we've got to plow, like we got to get through there, so,
mhm.
yeah.
I had one comment or one thought when I was reading it, which is this, to me, is an issue that the public have opinions about and might be of value to delay it slightly to give an opportunity to post it online and say, we're amalgamating, here are the minor changes. If there's any comments, I felt like to receive it Friday and to give comments today wasn't enough time for me to sort of hear from anyone or get any input. And I think it would maybe behoove all of us just to give a little breathing, to give the public a chance to speak, just because I think this is something that people might want to have had a chance to have a say on. And so I think that might be, and given that there's not a lot of changes and they're all very common sense, I think just laying it out and saying that these, with that sort of executive summary of here are the changes, that we're doing this and these are the rationale. And then
Yeah.
I feel like it's a box to check, but a good one.
Yeah, and that's why we always bring it to committee first to have a review, and, thank goodness we have Debbie here. Who, usually stuff is followed up with the leader, and then the bylaw won't come back until the 4th. So that, there is time, if people are calling you, or people are asking about it, people can call the office here, then, everyone's aware of it for at least 2 weeks, you know what I mean? And of course, it's on our website as well, but yeah, if you hear anything before the 4th, for sure, yeah.
but I was of the other opinion that they were such minor changes and it was amalgamation of
Mhm.
2 previous, except for the small change. And why the post office one wasn't in there,
Yeah, I don't
I will never know. But that's a good thing to have. I thought, oh, this is just a housekeeping almost. But it doesn't, I mean, if it's on the website and people want to comment, by all means.
Oh, for sure, yeah, for sure.
Because it is just an opportunity of it's being renewed and
Okay.
explaining
Yeah.
that, why and what. I know parking just tends to be an issue that people want to weigh in on.
Well, especially in the winter,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, for sure. So if that's good, then, it's out there, and hopefully the leaders will write something about it.
Hint, hint.
Yeah.
Hint, hint.
So again, it was easy to read and I'm glad you've made it more efficient. I gathered there wasn't a lot of change in our penalties.
So the penalties right now are $30, and then if you pay it within 10 days, it's $20. But all of our neighbors are between 50, 75, and 100. So we picked the lowest, we used 50, but $30. So right now it's a $30 fine. Yes, it can be 20 if you pay it in 10 days. Now, if you pay it within 10 days, it's a $30 fine. And if not, then it's 50.
We may have to revisit, we were very generous in that department.
You get a discount if you pay it quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
You
Yeah, we
don't get that in the city of Toronto.
Yeah. But again, another thing to promote, right? Like
Yeah.
this, we have not changed the fee. Like,
Yeah, well, we changed the fee, but yeah,
Or
we kept the
significant.
model. Yes, we kept the model so that
Right.
if you do pay it early, you are still getting a discount. And I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, we're really not looking, it's not a cash grab. We're really just looking.
Too soon, Annette. Too soon.
To let people know, you know what I mean, you can't park here.
Yes.
And so, and to
Yeah.
have some sort of monetary, because even the $20, like the $30 that could be paid for $20, some people, they'll just pay that 20, because you go park in, you know, lots of places, it's $20. So that, you know, that's not even a deterrent at this point. Oh, it's okay, I'll just park here on the street and pay the $20. Yeah, that's fine.
At the same
So-
time, I would say like things are tighter right now in the economy
They
and with the cost of groceries, the
Mhm.
cost of living, $20 can be a lot to people. And so you do need to have some deterrence,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah,
yeah, and we work with
Yeah.
our residents, like if you.
like AFC.
You call me early enough, like you obviously can have notice to appear when it gets to the prosecution, but if you call me the very day you got the ticket or the very day after, we can have a conversation as to what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm happy to do that, you know, so
Well, that's good to
Yeah.
hear.
very good.
we don't have very many, so, you know. I think everyone seems to be behaving, because at least what I see come through here, we really don't have that many.
Agreed.
So,
I've lived here for 16 years and I've not had one. I was the parking ticket queen of Toronto. So.
see? So there you go. No, we really don't have that.
That duty is assigned to only one council member at a time.
Okay. I don't want it anymore.
Anything further in that?
Not on that, if that's good, then, I will move on to the, to the museum lease. So the museum lease is expired. We did have a request, in the spring, I think. We had a letter, basically saying we were interested in renewing. So just bringing that back to the table. I'm not, you know, I don't know that we need any changes, but if there's something, you know, what I would do is I would take the lease that we did, the previous one. I would send it to our insurance because they review all of our contracts for free.
Mm.
And that's better than sending it to a lawyer. So I mean, they have lawyers on staff
Yeah.
and that's what they do is they look at it from a risk perspective, which is always important. And so that's part of what they do for us. So I would send it to them, say, is there anything here that you think needs to be updated, needs to be changed, any language that needs to be strengthened from a risk protection liability perspective? And other than that, I don't really have any comments on it unless council is looking for something different.
So the lease that's expiring was signed in 2018?
I think so. That
Yeah.
sounds right.
All right.
So we'd look for a similar length of lease.
Looks like, yeah.
Shorten it. Okay. I'm in agreement.
Okay. I'll do with that. And then the next one is the memorandum of understanding for the dog park. So this is where our 5 years, can't believe this was
I
signed right by the document.
know.
And it's been 5 years. So Heather Park Wheeler, who was, I don't know if she was chair or president of the dog park committee, I'm not sure. What I'm sure their committee sort of met to get the dog park running, and I don't know if they still meet or whether they're just a group of volunteers that helps maintain it. So I know.
Forward this
I
to you.
noticed it does get used.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was proactive because the lease, or the MOU doesn't expire until December 31st.
Yeah.
So yay, dog park. people.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, we make sure that the parking lot there is plowed. We make sure that they have, you know, sand and salt, you know, so that they can spread that around. Didn't work too good for Tracy, but we won't bring-
No, it did not.
Was that when she broke?
I broke my shoulder
Yeah,
in
that was-
February.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, and so and then they just call us if they're having issues, you know, that they're not, you know, they mow the lawn and they sort of make sure that the fence is maintained and everybody sort of knows the rules and that kind of stuff. But, you know, if there's anything bigger that goes on, they give us a call. So I think from what I gather from Heather is sort of looking for us to take it over. That wasn't really the agreement. So I pose that to committee. I think it's been working fine, so I I don't know why we would change something that's
It's what the
working
words
well.
are about, it's work and don't fix it.
Yeah,
I think they lack volunteers. I know Heather had made a post about a month ago or maybe shorter, looking for people to take over and be involved and help with maintenance. So I really think it just goes down to not enough volunteers.
So is she putting a call out for volunteers, Tracy?
Yeah, she had, and for
Okay.
people to help with the maintenance,
Okay.
but I don't know where
That
that's
makes
at.
perfect sense.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
we provide the doggy bags and there's a garbage can there, but we're like, we don't
Yeah.
have staff that's gonna go out and be cleaning up the dog park and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's not- And I'm not saying it's something we could never do, you know,
Yeah.
maybe if we had summer students or something, but like all year long, like especially when the arena gets busy and things get busy, like the chances of us being out there to deal with that is.
I think it's also the level that it's maintained.
Mhm.
Like those volunteers make sure that there
Mhm.
isn't, you know, feces everywhere and the
Yeah.
grass is, like they do an excellent job. I would suggest that we renew the MOU with them and ask for and can we help them do a call out for volunteers? You know, sort of a call to action.
Mhm.
Do you think that would work, Tracy?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe there's student, I mean, I don't know, we can get students with volunteer hours. That seems to be challenging
that's a good
sometimes
idea.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and it's funny because with these grade 5 classes, you know, they're only 10 and 11 years old. And they were so keen for things to do in the township to help out. So, you know, even the young ones, the young humans, would they be interested in helping out a little? Yeah.
Yeah,
they-
I think
they-
if you give them a little bit of a leadership role, they'd probably value that. Where it's not
Well,
just
I
come and
said
help,
leadership
but
about 100 times this morning.
yeah.
So a
Yeah.
letter similar to the one you sent to the museum board, expressing how much we appreciate this,
Yeah.
the facility and
Yeah.
we're willing to renew and ask
Offer
if there's
some-
any way we can make the job of maintaining the park a little bit easier by helping them to find, maybe expand their volunteer base.
Or sign on the volunteer hours. I think that would be,
Mhm.
That would be,
that's very helpful, I think, for them.
Absolutely.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
letting the high school know,
yeah,
because the
Yeah.
kids need to get it,
Yeah.
that this would be something that would qualify and they could sign on.
yeah, for sure. I like that. Okay.
Mhm.
That's good. Okay, and then the next thing that's attached is so. I didn't put the whole backgrounder here, but the OMS cartograph system that we have right now, which does our asset management and tracks our infrastructure and things like that, which I believe was purchased in 2018, 2019, just before I arrived. So when that was purchased, I do remember it was challenging when I first started, but because it was new, we continued to, you know, take some training, push towards, you know, things are gonna get easier as time goes on.
Apparently it is not.
It is not. So we spent a lot of money with a consultant helping us to run this program, like never mind the program. And then that person retired. And so we tried for a little bit to limp along. It didn't work out. So we had to hire another consultant to help us with the program. And I think that person was very honest with us and said, this software appears to be, you know, sort of put together. Like it's not as smooth running. I don't know of any other municipalities at this point that are using it. So at that point, having discussion with department heads and staff and saying, okay, what do we want to do? Like, are we done with this software? You know, because, and it's costly. It's about $40,000 every year, right? And it's challenging. So we looked at Public Sector Digest citywide, and we worked with Public Sector Digest before on asset management through the MFOA, the Municipal Finance Officers Association, with our asset management. I know a few other municipalities. They have over 200 that use this software. So there's a lot of municipalities using it. They like it.
That's
I've
significant.
heard really, yes, it is significant. I've heard really good things about it. But I was very hesitant to do anything, knowing that this other software was sort of, you know, jumped into and, you know, I don't want to spend money. I don't want to be in the same situation a year from now. Was so very hesitant. So they were worked with us very well. So they had we had some online meetings. They made the software available to us for 30 days as a demo and free of charge. They took some of our reports that we use and especially for water and sewer regulatory, they were like, yeah, we can produce all of that. Here you go. They met again with Sandra and I, not that long ago. The important part is our data is ours from OMS Cartograph. So we have exported all of our data, all of our maps, all of our stuff. So it's not like if we don't have this software, we don't have everything that we've put into it in the last 5 years. We do.
Okay.
We own that. So we do have all of that, and which can be then converted and uploaded to the new software.
That was gonna be my question.
Yes. So we did confirm all of that. It does work with our financial software. Directly links, of course, because lots of municipalities using that. I'm using like yeah. So yeah, so that basically takes us to today. So I had a conversation with each of the department heads. They're all ready to move ahead with this. Sandra also is ready to move ahead with this, and so at least it's going to give us good data, and we're not going to have to spend as much time. Obviously, when implementation is going to take time and it's going to be costly, but once it's implemented, then it's $20,000 a year versus $40,000 a year.
And no consultants.
And no consultants, which will probably save us at least $10,000 to $15,000 a year. So I think at the end of the day, yes, it's upfront cost, but it's going to save us, and I believe that our departments will actually use it, because that's the other thing is that's great. We have this software that does all these things and no one's using it. So what am I paying for it for? Well, and I don't mean no one's using it. The water and sewer are going on to the mapping, and they're using it that way. But we don't seem to be able to take out the old and put in the new. So now we've got 2 catch basins. We don't really have 2 catch basins. We have 1 beside each other. Little things like that are silly as far as I'm concerned, really. That public sector digest is like, yeah, that's no problem. You just do this and you just do this. And I'm like, okay, that's the kind of support we need. We don't need someone who I call and I don't know, 3 months later, they're like, well, we're still working on it. Well, I don't understand that. Like we've had this, I understood that at the beginning, but we've had this software for 5 years, 6 years now. This is silly. So that's the recommendation. I know it's a sole source. But what I can tell you is, what I can tell you is a lot of municipal treasurers and a lot of people out there, they have no good options. This is the closest we've come to a decent option, and they're all about as frustrated as we are. And there's more and more regulations with asset management and more reports that are due. And it's
All of which the province reads.
yeah, I know, of course. So that's why it's sole source. That's, the need is there because we're coming up to year end. We're coming up to the new year. And I'll be honest with you, I think what's going to have to happen, if we don't purchase something and get moving up in a new direction, it's literally going to be, we take our data and everything's in Excel, which is, I don't know, awful to look at if you understand how many assets we own, and how many pages you have to look, and how formulas don't work when you're that many pages into Excel.
Oh,
It's awful.
You haven't put me in charge of the formulas.
Well, it's bad. It's bad. So I mean, yeah, that's the other option, I guess. But staff's not super thrilled with that option, but
No.
sometimes we don't get everything we want, and that's just the way it goes. So yeah.
So I see we have an app or software we're using now that
Mhm.
is less than adequate.
Yes.
This looks promising, and you have other communities who seem to be
Yes.
well pleased with this.
Yes.
And so that's a good reason to consider the change. The change, what would be our minimum sign-on period to this? Do we define
It would
that?
be a 1 year for sure. It might be a 3 year.
I was
Yeah, I
gonna
didn't expect
say,
it to be
sorry.
that short.
No, I think it's a 3 year.
I think
No,
it
we
is
said
too.
that too quickly.
Yeah.
It's actually a 3 year, excuse me. And so the upfront costs are about $77,000 for implementation, which we have enough in the modernization funding and money that's left over in our consulting budget, consulting budget, that we could fund that, not out of the tax base. And then the licensing going forward, well, it's less than, like, it's not gonna be an increase, it's gonna be a decrease to the budget. Like for year 1, it's gonna be the same 40,000, so we have to buy the licensing, then that licensing comes off the table, and then it's 20,000 every other year, so we will be saving money
Every other year.
yeah.
So, and this is a staff use package. There's no public use of this.
There is, there is a public facing where you can put in, requests.
Oh,
complaints, yeah.
right, yes.
Which we tried to do with our OMS,
That
and
they couldn't even roll out for
It-
us to try,
yeah,
which is really bad.
We'll
yeah.
get back to you on that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, so, yes, in that instance, they do have that is part of the package as well, so we
Okay.
certainly, and I do think that this fund might actually get rolled out.
I've only been asking for
I
it
know.
for
I-
2.5 years.
Yeah.
So that a resident, and the idea was staff were gonna roll it out to us, to the 5 of us, and then we could play with it, right?
Mhm.
So we could say, oh, there's a pothole, or there's a pothole on Silver Lake Road. Just kidding, Jason, we're just trying it out,
Mhm.
right, before rolling it out. This is literally in February, it'll be 3 years. Because I thought, the more tools we give people, hopefully the more, as they get used to it, obviously, the more they'll use it.
Mm.
But if council can't even test drive it, how are we expected to have?
Yeah.
Okay, so my one thing is, if they have 200 of the 444,
Mhm.
they're highly motivated, it sounds like, to garner as many municipalities as they can.
Yes, and I think when you have that many municipalities, the chances that somebody else has experienced something, like the chances that we're the first time we've experienced this and they're like, we have no idea how to help you with that, we've never seen it, are small. Cause what is it that we're gonna need for, whether it's regulations, whether it's, compliance, whether it's reporting, what is it that we're gonna need that the other 200 probably don't already have, right? And some of them have had them, like I think Northern Frontenac's had theirs for, gosh, I think Michael McGovern's been talking about this for 10 years now. Like, you know what I mean? And I was like,
This isn't new.
no, it's just,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
so-
I'm sorry, I thought when I said highly motivated, I thought maybe this was new software
no.
that all of a sudden 200 logged on
No.
to.
No,
Well-
it's been around for quite a while, and I think Horton's had it for at least 5 years, and their public works super just loves it.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah.
Other comments?
I have some questions.
Hmm.
I'm trying to understand maybe what the software does. What's the purpose of it? If you could just indulge.
So it has,
Nutshell it.
it has all of our assets in it, so it does two things. So one, it has mapping GIS capabilities so that, you can see where all of our catch basins are, where all of our piping is, so that when we get a call to go do stuff, the Public Works and the Water and Sewer Department can look into that. It produces inspection reports and things like that for our regulatory compliance for water quality. It also for, it tracks any work that we did, and of course for financial, it's how we dispose of our assets, come up with our depreciation models. We know what our indexing is, our condition index is.
Right.
That's all in there. So it also helps with our ARO, which is our asset retirement, which is a new regulation under the asset management regulations. So it does that for you. So it's just basically an infrastructure asset management software that does all of those maintenance things. Now, you can also use it to assign tasks to employees. You can use it to fill out your timesheets for your employees, which is all what we use OMS for. So all of those modules are in there. So whether it's, but that's where I'm saying I don't feel like we are using OMS Cartograph, but we're not, it's so difficult to get along with that it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
We should be able to bring forward all kinds of reports and graphs and things if council wants to look at them for our assets or for the maintenance that we've done or that kind of thing. So and we should be able to update it and no different than the construction that's going out in front, right? So making sure that we track that for what, you know, for grants, reports and for obviously for, and that's really the reason why it's here as opposed to the budget for 2026 is because we would like to have it for the year end. But if, you know, if that's not possible and council thinks that we should put this off to 2026, then we will continue to limp through, but then we have to decide what we're doing with Cartograph OMS because they're gonna want another 40,000 by December. So it's, do we spend another 40,000 on software we're probably gonna start to ignore because it's not working for us? Or do we spend like $70,000 implementing new software and then do 20,000 going forward each year to maintain it? So that's.
So this is depleting our modernization. fund.
Yes, it's finishing it off.
Tracy, any thoughts or questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Annette, what are best practices of other municipalities? What are they doing in terms of software
What are they
usage?
doing with the software?
Yeah, like are other municipalities using the same software or are there
Yeah.
different options?
Yeah, the other municipalities are using the exact same software.
Same thing, okay.
They're using it for asset management and infrastructure. You know, same thing with water and sewer compliance. Cause that was a big one that I really wanted to make sure that we were
Yeah.
not losing that. And their depreciation and their financial modeling. Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious.
So I wanted to direct to Sandra. You, Annette is made a good case for this. Have you an opinion?
Yeah, I really liked the demo we saw. It looks much more manageable than.
That brings me
system
to
that
the
we're
next
using.
point. As long as you guys have had the demo and satisfied, we don't need a demo in this regard, I don't think.
No, but I want a demo when we get to the point where we can start trying out the reporting. I would really like, again, it'll be 3 years in February, guys. This is something that this is no different than me bringing back the AI assistant idea from OEMC. This is something that I think will lessen the burden on our staff day to day.
Efficiencies. It's more efficient. In the end, it's more efficient, will save us money.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mary.
Thanks. So just to continue on and I think also to what Tracy was saying, in terms of the single source, I think that in something like this, you don't want to necessarily go with the lowest bid. You need a software that works for your purposes. And I think you've made a very good case
Yeah.
on why the other one is not working for the purposes. I think the $40,000 yearly price tag, in addition to the consulting fees, makes it very undesirable, and that it's clunky and doesn't do what you want to do. So clearly you need to make a shift, and I think that case is well made. And so I'm not questioning that at all. My only question then is, what else was considered? Because this is the 77,000 with 24 per year. Are there others that are also adequate that maybe you could try that would be less, or are they all more? Because if 200 of 444 municipalities are using it, then there's another 244 municipalities out there using something. So what else? Right. So just what other good ones are out there? Is this sort of the best bang for our taxpayers' buck? And what else was considered?
So I believe it is. What else was considered? Nothing that we looked at, not because it hasn't been considered for years, literally. Like this Cartograph has gone on for a long time. And we participated in a cohort in Eastern Ontario with AMO. And what I can tell you is it's spreadsheets. It's Excel spreadsheets. And you know, they're not going to give you what this is going to give us. They're just not. I mean, it's if that's where we end up with that and our Renfrew County GIS mapping, you know, it's not the ideal situation. And what I can tell you is from, you know, going to the municipal finance officers conference, going to AMCDO conference, going to these treasurer meetings with Ministry of Municipal Affairs. Like really, I've asked the question, I don't know how many times, of how many treasurers, and I can tell you the answer is always, we haven't found the perfect solution yet. This is as close as anyone has found. That's what I'm hearing like across Ontario. So yeah, that's really, I don't have another one that I've looked at because I'm concerned we're gonna end up with another OMS cartograph with, oh yeah, sure, you can give me a sales pitch and you can tell me all that your software is going to do. But then if I go and get it and it's not doing all the things that I want it to do, we're back in the same situation we were in. And the only reason why this one is even on the table is because of all of the municipalities that I've heard from that say this one is actually the closest we can get to what we actually need. And it's not perfect. No, you know, I'm not gonna say no software is perfect. No, it's pretty darn good. But there's the only software out there for asset management that any municipality has recommended that I've ever talked to across the province. Everybody else is like, we're working on it. Wish we could find something. It's too bad we can't find something. There's got to be something out there. There was a works manager back in the day, and I think the county had it, and they've ditched it since then because it got taken over by another company, and now unfortunately the support has just tanked. But we had that when I was in Agmaston Brumley. I thought it was quite good, actually. But yes, it's gone right downhill, and now no one's using it. So it was quite popular back in the day. It probably would have been the only asset management software that I've seen that a municipality has actually recommended. So OMS Cartograph, I think it's a similar situation. It was probably a decent software back in the day, and Sandra can speak to that because when we first got it, they changed it to this new model. They got bought out there. And I think that's the other problem is that the company is out of the States, and the people that look after it for us, so our maintenance contract, which is our $40,000 a year. So they are contracted by this company in the States. So for about, I'm gonna say 3 months, our consultant, not knowing that he wasn't to go around this maintenance contract, was going straight to the company that created the software. And we were actually getting somewhere. And I was like, oh, this is great. We're actually solving problems. I'm so glad we paid this consultant because we're finally getting somewhere with this software. And then the person he was speaking to realized we were from Canada. They said, oh, no, we can't talk to you. You have to go through this maintenance provider. So what I think is part of what the problem is that this maintenance provider that we're paying $40,000 a year, it's not their software, but they're maintaining it. So when they don't know the answer, they don't want to go back to the software company because that they probably charge them, right? So they want to keep the money, not have to pay them, but they actually don't. It's not their software, right? So whereas Public Sector Digest, it's actually we're actually talking to the people that made the software.
And are they Canadian?
Yes, and they can make it, and they're like, you know, so you're
That's an even stronger case. We talk about this at the county all the time when we're looking at different software for all sorts of things.
Mhm,
Also, where are things stored?
mhm.
Like, are they
Yeah.
stored in
Yes.
Canada?
Yeah.
But I have a question for you, Sandra, because you were here when the new cartograph was brought in. Were you given a demo at that time?
I don't think I ever saw a demo.
Okay,
The original cartograph was okay. I could use it. I had no problems with it.
no, it was this upgrade that we did in 2018.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think we went live at the end of 2019.
right.
It's the upgrade that's never,
And we don't
It's
have a
never
choice to
worked.
go back, right? That's
I
my
don't
understanding,
think so.
yeah.
You wouldn't think it'd be supported, especially if
that's-
the company was
that's-
bought
I
out.
think we had to upgrade
Yeah.
Okay.
time.
Oh,
Sometimes they
Okay.
do that. Great software
Right.
does that. Have to take the new version.
Yeah,
okay,
so that was, yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
I tried to give it as much time as I could, tried to put in as much effort as I could to make it work. Yeah, I think all of staff is just done. So I think either we move to a new software that I know works, and when I say I know, you know, like I said, I've talked to multiple other municipalities, they seem happy with it. So that says to me 10 times more than any demo or any sales presentation. Like,
Right.
that's great. Thank you for providing us with that information. But to me, it's when you talk to a municipal colleague who says, yeah, it's actually pretty decent software. oh yeah, they, you know, they do get back to you and they do seem to do. And I forget what we were demoing the other day, Sandra, but you know, where they ran into a problem. So somebody's human error happens. And he's like, oh, well, you just go in and you go, and it's just fixed. And I'm going, see, that's how I feel software should work.
Mhm.
Right, yeah.
I don't.
I
think
don't
it
wanna have to phone a consultant to figure out how to fix my error.
Yeah, I wanna be able to call you and say, here's what happened,
Yeah.
here's what it should have been, can you fix that? And I want you to say to me, no problem, Annette, and do it. That's my, maybe I have expectations too high, but that's my expectation.
I think we're at the point we should make a decision to direct staff. Has anyone got any further?
Sad about how we're funding it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a big price tag, that doesn't benefit. It benefits staff, it doesn't necessarily benefit the municipality, so it's a hard pill to swallow.
It's way less than Cartograph OMS was, just,
Yeah.
I think that original price tag for implementation was $200,000. And then, just to give you a comparison, and then 40,000 a year,
Yeah.
right? So just, I understand 77,000 a lot of money, but it's for a software
Yeah.
program, for implementation.
I'm just wondering though, can we amortize some of the costs so that it's spread out, because it's not all being, it's something that's a long-term. I just think, as Mayor Murphy said, depleting the budget of sorry, I can't remember what it's
The
called.
modernization.
Fund.
It's,
Yeah, to deplete it, I mean, it is modernizing something.
it is.
So it is useful, but I do wonder if there's an amortization that could be done with this, given that it's software that's gonna be used over several years, that's.
But I do think it's going to benefit the residents if we can get this reporting tool up and running.
Yeah.
That's,
I'm not saying it's also staff
no,
time, I'm not
yeah.
saying it's not a benefit, I mean, for a lot of money, people aren't gonna see it or feel it.
Yeah.
And, you know, which is always a nice thing to do with that kind of money, to feel some of it.
Mhm.
And I don't want you to get me wrong, I'm 100% in for this. I think it's important.
Mhm.
And if staff aren't able to utilize the software that we have, then why have the software?
Well,
It
yeah,
makes no sense.
Yeah,
And if it's taking extra time, consulting, phone calls, waiting to hear
Mhm.
back, that's not efficient at all.
Yeah.
I was just hoping that there was maybe some other way, even to fund a portion of it. If this is your, I am fine with it, it's just, you know, that I really like that fund
Mhm.
come budget time.
I know, and we can fund as much as we can out of our consulting
Okay.
expenses that we haven't spent this year, which is significant.
Yeah,
We
it
have
is.
$25,000 and I think we've only spent maybe 8 at this point.
I don't
So
even think it was that much, yeah,
Yeah, so I think, you know, definitely we will, because we've taxed for that money.
right,
And I think what, you know, some of that was reserved for the consultant to help us with OMS.
oh,
And some of it, what we've done is we've just kind of been like, okay, so we're all feeling like we should ditch this. So let's stop spending money on it.
Mhm.
You know, so we can certainly look at the other departments as well and see if they have more money in their consulting. I don't know if they do, but we can have a look at that and fund as much of it as possible through the consulting and only use the modernization reserve. I mean, let's be real, we're gonna have to,
oh no,
it's still gonna be substantial.
you're gonna have to
But-
dip into it, I get it, but if you could leave us a little for 2026 budget, that would make, I think, us very happy.
That's where I was. going.
That's because you all know that I really like that fund for the 2025 budget,
Mhm.
right? And when you think about, we did Gerald Tracy Park, we did the Legion Field, we did
Mhm.
the actual crosswalk, like,
Yeah, and
And
so.
there's more to be done.
yeah.
So we will only take from reserves what we need to. You know, obviously, you know, it's the goal to, if we've taxed for dollars, we wanna spend those dollars. You
Mhm.
know, we're not looking to tap into reserves unless we have to.
Mhm.
So almost Cartograph, if we stay with them, they're gonna cost us how much on January 1,
40,000.
right? Plus consulting fees.
Potentially, yes.
So it makes the $77,000 seem different, especially if we do have some consulting fees that we can swing
Yeah.
over legitimately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some there, yes, for sure.
That's where,
No,
Case can still be made for good, and we'll still find all the we'll find all the free cash that we can to use on this project.
yes, no, yes, absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
It makes all the sense in the world, and
Yeah, because
does.
we've taxed for those dollars,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
if we can use them up, and then next year, if that comes down because of the software cost, then that's great. You know, that's good savings going into budget for 2026.
yes, it is.
And then if we go ahead, which I'm in favor of as well, then perhaps it'd be nice to revisit this in 6 months or 8 months at an appropriate time, and you give us a little
For sure.
update. and
Yeah,
see
once
what
we get it all implemented and all of our data uploaded and in the software, I'm sure that they would be happy to show council, like, I know you're not gonna use it the same way staff uses it, but just as a quick, you know, just to show you
Yeah.
what it is, and just to show, you know, the public that this is beneficial. Here's some of the reports that can be created. I can certainly work with them on that and get the
So we direct staff to create a nuts and bolt proposal to bring back to this council? No,
No.
they can move ahead on this.
Yep.
yeah, we
I'm in
would,
favor.
we would just need to bring it back to council tonight because it's a sole source. I need a resolution, so.
What she said.
Very good.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Chair and council. So the next question is for Christmas holiday hours. So I always try to schedule for my report in October so that we can get it out for the newsletter for November and December that's going out before the end of October. What holiday hours we're gonna be open or closed, so that the public is aware and staff is aware, and we can all make plans accordingly. So looking at where the holidays fall this year, every year is different. But looking at where it falls, basically proposing that staff comes in, works Monday, Tuesday, has Christmas Eve off and New
Yeah.
Year's Eve off. And then obviously the stats, and then the one extra Friday on the January 2nd.
No, I think it's,
You know, to
yeah.
drag everybody back in,
for the Friday,
for the Friday,
makes no sense.
Yeah.
No.
so that's
They
So
deserve
Christmas
it.
is Thursday, so we'd be
Christmas.
work Monday.
Christmas Eve is Thursday or
Christmas
Christmas
Eve is
Day?
Wednesday, yeah,
Wednesday.
so we
Yeah.
work Monday,
So-
Tuesday,
Monday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off,
Got
and
it.
then work Monday, Tuesday,
Same picture.
And
yeah,
Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
That works out nice with with the weekends.
It
I think
does
so.
too.
Yeah, I think it's a nice break for staff, and I know they'll be very appreciative,
They deserve it.
and yeah. And I mean, it is a quiet time, you know, everyone's got plans, it's not like we have people running through the door, so it's always challenging making staff come in on January, Friday the 2nd, and then there's nobody here, and they're sitting here, and all their family is, you know.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
No.
It's a nice, yeah.
Good. I appreciate that. Carry on.
Oh yeah, so Eganville Generation Corporation just wanted to put a note in there so that on the 4th at the next meeting, in between committee and council, we'll have a shareholders meeting, which
Yeah.
is not the EGC board, it's council. And just to appoint our board member, a new board member, should she accept, and
I'll be here to deny it.
and then
Uh,
because our next meeting of EGC is actually the following meeting on November 18th, so I just, yeah.
Good.
So,
Nothing stopping us from positioning her without her being here. That's right.
That's right.
I accept the
Being
nomination.
yes, yeah, so
Put it on the record.
have to give notice for that meeting, so that's what we're doing today.
Thank you.
And then on like Sarah and Erica's reports, so I think we talked about the Driftscape. So I know Sarah's still working with that organization, so it's you weren't here for that, you could probably watch the past council meeting, but it's a really neat application that we can have events and we can have locations and we can have where it's audio, so you're doing a tour of the village and then you'd be like, next, see this mural, and this is what this represents, and next,
And it,
yeah.
and it might do the Amazing Race for us.
Ooh.
Yes.
The fun in that.
That was the first thing I thought of
Mhm.
when we did the delegation. And then you came back on council and immediately people were like, can you guys do the Amazing Race? video? It's so
I guess
amazing."
that would do.
So, and these were people that were like, they were teenagers when they did it. Now they're adults.
Oh, wow.
And they want to do it.
Time flies.
I know, it really does. And we
Yeah,
haven't
so-
aged a bit.
It's a pretty neat,
It's very-
I'd love to know what
So-
meeting that delegation was, because I will go back and watch that. I
Yeah,
was
it was-
curious,
It was 2 meetings ago.
yeah, I'll send that. to
September or something.
And it's right at the beginning, so you don't, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's looking good. And then, the swim program, so, we've been partnering with North Laguna Wilberforce, Laurentian Valley. And I think Maston Runling wants to join in with
Oh,
us again, like this
that's-
year, so, Owen Whitewater, sorry, joined in last year as well. So continuing to run that program, and, Motor Valley is gonna take the lead. And get that all up and running. Now, we did try on Fridays, so we were running swim programs from Monday to Thursday. We did try on Fridays to do an aquafit for adults and seniors and whatever. What I can say is it wasn't really picked up super well, so I don't know if we're gonna continue with that or not. I don't know why it wasn't picked up super well, but
Well, Sarah did say in her report though, like maybe with more promotion,
Mhm.
because it was sort of an add-on midstream.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it was better promoted at the beginning
maybe.
of the season. I don't
I
know.
was gonna say this, and I actually really appreciated that comment in her, because sometimes people can just say, it didn't work, we tried it, let's move on.
Right,
But I really like that they said it could have been, there's other reasons, like, let's try it again, potentially,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
see if there's more advance notice, and, because I didn't know about it. I'm sure
Yeah.
a lot of people didn't know that,
Mhm.
and I know that there's a lot of people who actually drive to Pembroke, to the aquafit at the Best Western, is quite popular, so, I like that, let's try it again and
Yeah, for
in a
sure.
different way.
And we had so many people, I was so disappointed, because we had so many people on Canada Day
Mhm.
yes.
talk about it. And so I really thought after Canada Day, actually, it only started after Canada Day, so I
Mhm.
thought this was gonna pick up.
Yeah.
I was wrong, but I don't know if like, was Friday the wrong day to hold?
Yeah.
Like, should we have put it on
Probably.
Monday instead of
Try another
Friday?
day, that Friday
Yeah.
might be one of the days that's seniors, we're way too active for.
Yeah, I don't- Yeah, or if people are, we're getting away for the weekend, maybe
Yeah.
Friday is
Yeah.
not a good day for it.
I
don't
think
know.
so. I think people, if they're going away, usually it's on a Friday, so
Yeah.
you're getting ready to go away.
Yeah,
or-
Right.
So
give it a try.
Different day.
Mhm.
Okay. And Camp Smitty was great again, love working with them. And your youth summit,
Oh my gosh.
which,
I,
just sounded amazing. I mean, it was good
Mhm.
last year, but this year with the attendance,
It-
those kids looked great.
it was, I will put together in my mayor's report for our next meeting. I will put together all my thoughts. I'm sorry, guys, it's been very busy and I haven't been able to take, Sarah gave me some notes even from this morning for local government week, but this youth summit was far more than I could have hoped for.
Mhm.
The kids were so engaged. All of our community partners had something for them to do. Gabe Fitzmaurice was just a brilliant youth speaker. He was
So good.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And was so even though it was by video, he really let the kids know that a life in municipal staff, politics,
Mhm.
doesn't matter, is definitely a road that you want to explore. So it was just a great day. I cannot say enough. So I sat with the kids. One of the breakout sessions was a round table where the kids could give us ideas.
Mhm.
So a few of them, and again, I will put together a fulsome report. They absolutely want more Uplift Youth Summits. They loved giving their opinions. I do have a,
We have the list. yeah.
I did, hang on, but I did start, they did want a youth advisory committee or a youth council that meets with the township with us at least twice a year. They liked the idea, one of them brought up a delegate seat, non-voting, of course, once a year to share youth perspectives. See, I started my report, but I didn't finish it. One of them brought up create a mayor for a day program to let students experience local government decision-making. They want to do more in terms of murals, painted picnic tables, community garden, youth cleanup challenge, tree planting events, recycling awareness campaigns. It just went on and on,
Yeah.
like, these kids.
Yeah.
But having them involved and you know, having the 16 of them there for the youth summit was amazing.
Mhm.
But going to their classrooms today, and I know this is the next
Mhm.
thing,
That's
that
okay,
government week. But one of the teachers told Sarah and I on the way out that there were some kids in that class that she had never seen so engaged, and she never imagined that they would ask questions. And I will say at the youth summit and at government week, BDPS, it starts out slow. You get a couple of the keener kids that they've got the ideas and then you can see the excitement and that all the kids want to be part of it. So now you've got every kid in the room. We were literally leaving and kids were still putting up their hands. One of the most interesting things that was discussed at the summit and then again today was the idea of using the youth building at Legion Field for an arcade. So they number one, they think it should be used as a canteen. I think that might take some investment in the kitchen. I'm not sure. I think that's a conversation. But they all expressed not even things like, I'm gonna look really old here, things like Pac-Man. They were talking more like foosball tables. Having cornhole outside, things like that. So I'm just thinking that there might be an opportunity here for us to do something really special with very little resources. That's where I wanted to put some of the modernization money. That's,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but, and of course, your report came after the youth summit,
Mhm.
so, but it was amazing to me that, once again, you say to Sarah, can we do this? And she not only makes it happen, she makes it happen in a big way. And those kids left that day, and I believe we left them today wanting more,
Mhm.
wanting to know more, wanting to be more of part of the process. They want to be leaders. We talked about leadership and we talked about just what it means to be a part of your community, not only getting, but giving back. And these kids want that. They're interested. They want to be part of it. And I think that we would be completely and totally missing the boat if we didn't take them up on this. Like, it was really exciting for me. One of them asked how long I'd been doing this, and I said, well, almost 16 years. And you could see, like, that's like they haven't been alive and they didn't know what to do about that, but they are, you really see where Amo's idea of healthy democracy and getting these kids younger than that grade 10 civics,
yes.
right? Getting them at grade 5. And I had wonderful grade 5 classes years and years ago when I did this, and engagement from some of the kids. I was shocked at the engagement today, and I think Sarah was as well. I think it was really dynamic, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And it just makes you want for these kids to come to us and say, we have an idea and this is the way we think we can do it.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's great.
So
Can
let's,
I say something? Tracy, hi.
Thank you.
Jan, you'll recall a few years ago, we talked about exploring using that building, the former youth center, when we had our youth committee. And I think the issue at the time was staff involvement and taking care of the building. I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember.
so
When we-
and that would
Yeah.
have to be a conversation.
Yeah, so
But one of
but
the things that I asked at the youth summit was, would you be willing to ask your parents, ask friends, your
Yeah.
older friends to help out? Would you make sure that when you left the building, that it was clean, So I
Yeah.
think, I think you put out a call to action to these kids, but this is also, this is much different, I think, when you have them in front of you and they're bouncing ideas off of each other,
Mhm.
and then there's buy-in. I think that's what's different right now, Tracy. I felt more of a buy-in from the kids as opposed to the parents and volunteers.
Yeah, no, I just remember at the time when we talked about the building, it was more around how we're gonna do it with staff time, dedicated resources. So it kind of fell off the table and I think at the time the building was used for storage and there was an issue with the kitchen as well. So
Yeah,
I
no,
personally
but I
advocate, I'd love to turn
I
that
think to
building
your point,
around.
it would have to be volunteer driven as well. So if you had, say, a committee of 5 volunteers that were entrusted with the key to the building and they were able to open it up and close it up. But I think this also is dependent on these kids taking care of it, right?
Yeah,
There
this,
gonna be chores. If you wanna play foosball at the end of the day, it's gotta be wiped down, you've gotta leave the building. Maybe the bathroom has to be cleaned. So
Yeah.
but I think it was different hearing from them instead of from the youth group, like the youth volunteer, but they were adults group, than hearing it from the kids.
yeah, I guess just for me, it goes down to if we can make it happen in use of the building, then I think obviously that would be a great benefit in the community.
Yeah, and I would really like to revisit this whole kitchen thing too.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, Jen, we talked about this as an art space as well, right? Like there's so many options to do with that building.
Yeah, and once it's available and in use again, then it can have more than just youth, right? You could have an adults, or art or other things as well, but with a primary
Yeah,
rationale. I wanted to add my voice here because number one of the other things that I had someone reach out to me about was about youth dances. And so I think that's another thing, like if you have a youth committee that gets struck again, where they are working on this, then you can have an ongoing pool of volunteers for those youth dances that can be more regular. And I think those are really important when we live in a small community like this where, kids get off the bus and then they're home and they're isolated and they don't have the same ability to socialize as you do in a place where there's public transportation
Yeah.
and you have neighbors, if you don't live in the, so I think it behooves us to do more for our youth. And if I was sort of thinking faster on my feet when you were asking me about a place for improvement, I think youth is where I would have started as well. Also being, the mother of 2 teens, I can say, when you said getting them at grade 5, that is the sweet spot. I tried to get my daughter to go to the youth, or I shouldn't identify, one of my children to go to the youth day, and she was a little too old at that
Mm.
point to be, it's more about the friends and the, like, less joining
right.
and so I think grade 5 is the sweet spot where they're responsible enough. But I was thinking as you were speaking, there is a snowball effect that happens. Someone, you plant a seed and it starts to grow and you start the snowball and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it sounds like that's what already has started.
Mhm.
And so I think it's on all of us to help push it and let them go with it, but to give them the resources that they need where we can to make it flourish. And I think it comes back to us because they're not the citizens of the future, they're citizens of today. But we are developing them for down the road to be leaders. And I love the idea of a youth advisory council, and I wonder, what does it take for us to make that happen?
I haven't sussed that out, but I will, and I also have a call in to one of my colleagues at AMO to find out if anybody else, because nobody else had done a summit last year.
Mm,
We were the first ones. So I'm just wondering, I had one colleague reach out and say, oh, this is what we do. But it is, number one, they only have one school, and I would like both schools
Oh, yeah.
involved. So theirs was a bit easier. Their student council became their youth council. So I'll get back to you, I
Mhm.
promise, but I will not let this drop because this is a passion project, and it was last year and it is this year. I agree with you about the snowball effect. I
Mhm.
think that even just, again, watching the kids today.
Mhm.
Should I just add one more?
And-
Can I add one more thing? And Meredith, you're talking about the dances and stuff, because I started the youth program when I first joined it. You know what it all falls down to is volunteers. Like that was one of the things when Dana was organizing the dances was getting enough volunteers, parents who would go and help out and chaperone. And some of those fell off or they were canceled because they didn't have enough volunteers. Much like we talked about with the dog park, right? So it's figuring out a way to engage. And I know there's lots of new residents in town, you know, maybe there's some that are looking for more opportunities. That was if we can just help and promote building that volunteer group for these initiatives, then it will be much more successful than maybe it has been.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It was one of the sad things when I was on council was to see that youth center close.
I know.
And so for everyone said, oh, there was all these great things, like that was actually, I think, the dark mark was that closed and that it was allowed to happen, and I never really understood why. But I think if we have an opportunity to resuscitate it, I do agree with Tracy. I think there actually are a lot of people that if they knew that there was a need and that they had a role to play, that people would raise their hand. I remember one of those youth dance was being canceled and I was like, oh, I'll do it. Like I could get 5 other parents to
Right,
say that they would. It's just
Yeah.
sometimes the lack of
Coordination.
coordination. So, or just the awareness of what's needed. So I think
Yeah.
we will find, as you were saying, Mayor, that if the kids are motivated, the parents will follow. If the parents are motivated, the kids may or may not.
Yeah.
So that's a really good piece of information.
so the other thing is that these are grade 5 students, so they're 10 and 11 years old. So youth dances wouldn't even be on their radar because they've never been at the age to go to a youth dance. So that's probably something that they didn't say because
Right.
it's not there yet.
I was gonna say one other thing about it, which is when you were saying with the arcade, I was like, it's hard to compete with home video games,
Mhm.
right? But if it's actual tactile things, if it's foosball, if it's
Yeah.
things that you have to interact with, I think that is the direction that makes a whole lot of sense because it's something that they don't
Something
have already.
different. Yeah.
I also loved the list of things
Like,
that they had. And
did
honestly,
you like Disneyland?
I love Disneyland and Costco and there's some really great ones in there. But I also love that they say like, how can you make your community a better place? Cleaning up garbage, no littering.
Yep.
Like this is wonderful. So good going.
Yeah, so they were very interested in ditch days
Mm-hmm.
and thinks that that should be twice a year. We had a lot of very long conversations, but I found it interesting when they were talking about an arcade. They weren't talking about video games.
Mm-hmm.
They were literally talking about games,
Mm-hmm.
which really excited me because I agree that's going to lend itself to better socialization. You're not doing this. I just thought it was a great idea all around.
Okay, I'm gonna have to deal with a heavy hand here. We'll be having supper for me.
Oh, okay.
But thank you. So I get ideas like we talked about Halloween for the kids, a Halloween parade. There's a perfect task for our youth council. We put them at this table. We'll even give them a little budget next year. And we'll help them because they'll be the motivators for the parents and hence volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
I really don't want to lose these 2 grade 5 classes because ostensibly we'll have them for grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, right? Before they go off and become teenagers and friends or everything. Like my hope is that a core group of them would stick with it
Mhm.
and then train the next group.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a student council per se at grade
They
5.
do.
No, but they don't have a student council at EDPS.
Yes, they do.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
But they would be the older students.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll find out. I don't know if they're eligible in grade 5.
I don't know, but they do have school council, but doesn't mean that you
Yeah.
doesn't have to be the same kids all the time. Right?
No,
So,
But they should be given a chance if they want to feel it, they should sit at this table.
yeah,
We should go on one of our off 2-week periods and put them here and just sit and listen from the gallery.
oh, you will be shocked.
I would love to hear.
mhm.
They are smart as all get out. They, Sarah and I were, even today, were sort of standing there going, wow. One of the kids suggested that we take our snow plow, I guess you wouldn't want the snow with salt in it or sand, but to take the snow from, say, the roads going into Legion Field or the roads wherever that wouldn't have as much salt and sand, and build a toboggan hill.
Mhm.
How easy is that? It's
Hopefully.
right, well, I don't know,
Mhm.
but it's such it's sort of an easy idea.
Mhm.
Because when I see kids tobogganing on the hill beside the leader, it
Yeah.
puts the fear of God in me. That they're gonna come shooting out like in Christmas Vacation onto John Street.
Well, if it didn't scare the nuns at the mother house, it shouldn't scare us. So, can we move on? Thank you.
Okay, so, yeah, no, all great things, and, yeah, hopefully we can get that moving better this year than, we worked at it last year. I know Sarah worked really hard at trying to get this youth council, and it just, with the schools, with the library, with lots of people, and it didn't, but I'm hoping maybe, if the kids are willing to run with it and pushing the adults, and then maybe it will actually happen this year. And the Legion Field building, well, we did clean it up. We got it ready to go. We're trying to get a canteen going this spring and summer. Fortunately, it didn't work out. We worked with the ball clubs, we worked with the soccer clubs, and it just didn't work out. But that doesn't mean that we stop working towards those things. But the Canada Day 2026. So I know the Christmas tree lighting is on here as well for the 28th. And that will be in our upcoming newsletter. So Canada Day, we don't have updated pricing for a drone show. We did try to get them. We did reach out to the same people that gave us it last year. We've reached out.
I have a new contact
We don't, okay,
with a different company
okay.
that may have new technology. Can we put a pin in this decision?
We can put a pin in it. Whether they're available still July 1st is.
Okay,
We can
so,
put a pin in it till November 4th, but I can't guarantee they're already getting booked up now, so.
okay,
yeah.
so I guess
Fine.
my first question would be, does council have an appetite to go from a firework display to a drone display?
Yes.
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 It's the voice from above. Okay, so so I will put this as an action item for myself. I will have an answer by November the 4th with a price.
Okay.
Because I looked up the pricing that I got last year. And it was quite expensive for very few drones. But I gather that the technology has come a little further. Kayla was at the wedding show this weekend and sent me I guess a drone company was sitting right beside her. So I have their contacts, so I will reach out. Okay.
I think it- I think it's more than just drones. I mean, there's other, we talk about this every year. There's other ways to have a Canada Day celebration without just fireworks. Like there's other interactive visual displays, we could explore.
Mhm.
I don't know what those are, but the $10,000 a minute, $1,000 a minute.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, one of our ratepayers is gonna question that.
No,
Yeah,
I
no,
would
we
I
do
would never
get a
endorse
s-
that. Yeah.
We do.
Sorry, we do get a small amount from the feds for
A
this,
grant, yeah.
but not the whole thing. So, okay, leave that with me.
Yeah.
I will get that done. I should have done it before, but I was busy this morning. Okay, so.
Okay, sorry, so.
So the drones are 10 minutes as well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's not, it was just a question, I think last year it was going to double the price, so Canada Day was gonna cost double. Instead of like $6,000, it was gonna be more like $10,000 or $12,000.
Mhm.
So instead of fireworks, it was going to be a drone show. But I think the question that we have is, okay, so we're gonna double the price. is the show gonna be better or not? So that's the challenge, is it's so new
Yeah,
that if we spend twice the money, and the show is.
Is the show gonna be twice as long?
Well, no, it's not. That's the
No.
issue.
twice
So,
the drones can only stay in the air so long.
yeah, so it's gonna be a shorter show for more money, but could be really cool because they can do all kinds of shapes. Like if you saw Pembroke had posted a video of the Busker Festival,
Mhm.
right? Which yes, was only wasn't like, I think our fireworks are about 20-25 minutes. This is only 10 minutes, but like they've got music and they've got all the different shapes.
Yes.
So it's different. Is it better? I don't know. You're going to have people who are going to think it's better, and then you're going to have people who are going to wish that it was the same way that it always was. And you can't do anything about that. That's the way it is, yes.
Two comments on that. One is, I think there's a qualitative, is it better? But there's also fireworks have become more controversial environmentally as well as wildlife and dogs and people. We didn't see this 10 years ago, that people would be complaining about their dogs and the fireworks, and it seems to actually have a negative impact on some people, and other people, if you don't have it, they'll be upset. So you're trying to, balance that out. And I think that the drones, it does provide a nice opportunity to see, does this strike that balance of not being bad for the environment, not impinging on the dog world? But I don't think spending double for
You can't compare.
yeah, you can't compare, but I don't think we want to spend more money. So let's see what's available.
So
Okay.
I'm loath to give out these prices because this is a completely different company.
We don't need them right now.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think you ask them to sell themselves to us
Mm-hmm.
as a group that wants to move from traditional fire to.
oh, I don't think they
They don't need the business.
no, they are.
Right.
These people are very, 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 very busy and in fact,
Too busy to give us a quote.
yes, I will get a quote.
So, I think as the technology comes along and as more
Exactly.
people
Yeah.
get into it, I think the price will come down. So I guess the question is whether or not 2026 is the right year for us to try it or not. So we're gonna put a.
Oh, you have Treasure Horse?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay, so 50 drones was 15,000, 100 drones was 24,000, and 200 drones were 40,000. So obviously we weren't doing that, but anyway, I will reach out to this company.
Okay, and then we can bring it back November 4th and hopefully our people are still available.
We can put it on the docket for maybe April or May next year. Just to, because yeah, we're pressured a little bit now, even though it's 6 months in the future.
Yeah,
I know.
there's only so many companies that.
You mean 8 months?
Yeah.
9
One
months.
more, can I ask one more thing? Sorry, and we talked about this. Can we talk about Canada Day in general as an event? That was my point I was trying to make. There could be other things that we do to enhance Canada Day and not just be seen as, talking about just fireworks or increasing the money to include drones. Like maybe there's other interactive things that we can do on Canada Day that brings that fulsome experience for residents.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
It's not just about fireworks. It's about, maybe it's food trucks to, we've had different things in March Break Madness, different sort of interactive experiences for people. So maybe there's something else that we can do, or a Rib Fest or something with Rotary to make it a much greater event, to take the emphasis off of it just being about fireworks.
Yeah, I think the only reason why that's on here today is just because we need to make a decision on that, though.
Yeah.
Like, the other things, we
yeah.
still need to make a decision in the next couple of months. You can't put off planning an event until, 2
Yes.
weeks beforehand, but
Exactly.
yeah, there's a little bit more time for those types of discussions, and usually we do them in budget in March.
Yeah.
But this unfortunately, we have to book these fireworks or drones earlier and earlier. It's getting harder and harder to it's just the way it is right now. I don't know.
But once
Yeah.
again, it would also be lovely to partner with our neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly send another letter.
Again,
The only problem with that is where it's held, because then someone feels like, all right, we're just giving you our money and you're doing it. So I think Canada Day it takes place in a spot that it does, unless it's 1 year it's gonna be in your township, and the next year it's in ours, that might be more attractive.
Except we share the arena.
We do, but it's in Boncher Valley, so I think maybe there's a give of, we go back and forth.
Snowdrifters has done a lot to improve their
Yeah.
facility,
Mhm.
and that might be a consideration
But we
too.
can't
good
put
idea.
bouncy castles in snowdrifters.
I have.
And I think we couldn't do
Yeah,
fireworks, we couldn't do there.
No.
because of the river, but if we move to drones, that could be a different discussion.
Yeah,
there's
Yeah,
also the Melissa Bishop Park too.
yeah,
yeah, it's a good idea.
that is where they do their Canada. Day.
Yeah.
All right, so Youth Council and Canada Day will come up as budget discussions, or we'll discuss it in a little more detail at that time.
For sure.
We take new ideas, okay,
Absolutely.
I'll bring a report back about the youth council prior to
thank you.
That's great.
that.
So sorry, the last thing in my report is the planning and licensing and emergency management report. I don't really have any comments. We have a public meeting obviously today. And as far as emergency management, you have the exercise that's happening on October 23rd. And every year now, they ask for us to do a resolution to appoint our emergency management committee. I think we used to do it once a term, but anyway, the new warrant officer wants it every year. So I do see in the report it's 2026, but I did change it to 2025 because the year of the or the exercise is in 2025. And everybody that's in this resolution has to be at the emergency management exercise. It's absolutely mandatory, or we're out of compliance. So that is why our new counselor is not in the resolution for 2025, but we can certainly pass a new resolution in 2026 in January. And I'm sure you'll be it's kind of short
Yeah.
notice that the exercise, it's, we
Yeah.
haven't really put it out to the public that the exercise is happening on Thursday. So I totally get that. So I think that's gonna work, keep us in compliance for 2025 and go from there.
Yeah, I appreciate the solution.
Yeah,
I'm happy to accept that, the appointment
okay.
for that.
Thank
Could
you,
we
Brown.
do it for 2 years, or it has to be done yearly? Probably.
Has to be done yearly, so, so we'll just, and I'm sure
Do
Erica,
that at our meeting coming.
we will do that at our council meeting this evening, yeah, exactly, and, any information that, Erica can share, I know her and the fire chief, we're going through it again today, and of course, we are working with the county on a county-wide, some information and exercise, so.
Stage.
I don't know what they have planned for us, which is kind of exciting.
I
As
know a
long as
little
it
bit,
involves
not
Mike
a lot.
Nolan's super drones.
No,
I'm sad to miss it. That's like
Yeah.
the most fun thing.
I know. We did a real-time one years and years and years ago with the county.
Mhm.
I think I played a victim. I think I had like blood on me and yeah. Anyway.
You won't miss this when you're in Scotland.
Proud.
No.
Definitely.
Thank you, Annette. You've given us lots of food for thought.
Okay, well, that's, thank you.
Moving on, correspondence A. I think they're all from organizations we know and love. I don't think there's any action to take on that. Correspondence B, I'm not so sure.
Mhm.
The automatic speed revenue enforcement resolution, do we take action? Are we going to create a letter along those lines?
For what it's worth, I wouldn't bother.
Okay, because it'll be well stated by many good municipalities.
So Roma's taking it on, Amo's taking it on, Phonom's taking it on, OSIM's taking it, everybody's taking it on.
Good.
The big city mayors are taking it on, led by Marianne Mead Ward, who's doing a fantastic job of getting the message out there. It is not a cash grab, once again, I think that's just a completely ridiculous statement to make, again, that we can't afford officers. And all we're talking about are community safety zones, including our school zones, where speeding can be a very, very, very dangerous thing to do in these areas. And I think that the roads that we chose to include as community safety zones were appropriate. And automatic speed enforcement would have absolutely helped with slowing people down. Somebody made the comment to me last week that, we could buy more of the speed,
The displays.
The
Yeah,
display.
flashing light,
Well,
flashing.
that, they might slow you down, they might not. Anyway, this is going to be, it's going to continue, but I don't believe the premier is going to change his mind.
No, but yes, when it's difficult to find funding for things we desperately need, we have to try this.
Exactly.
Okay, any discussion or on that issue? Where I think I support Mayor Murphy's approach and the.
It's in good hands.
Good. Support resolution for the community infrastructure program. That sounds like something I can support. Do we need
Yeah.
to, do we just add a letter giving our
We can
support?
do a resolution for our next meeting.
Can we? Thank you. Blue box regulation, I think that's still in the works.
Yeah.
We're not ready. to
But I
talk
think
about that.
staff are doing an exemplary job of it, so.
Me too.
Yeah, we're just continuing to push for all of the commercial and industrial to be included in the stream as opposed to just the residential. We haven't, that's really our last stepping stone that we're not getting there, but I don't think we're going to get there. I think the province is fighting against Walmarts and Coca-Colas and producers that are massive. And you know, if council wants to support it, that's great. Do I think we've gotten as close as we're gonna get. Our depots are now allowed to commingle. And we have to pay for a portion of it, but our collection is, yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out ourselves.
Yeah. And until everything is distributed in aluminum, which will make it very valuable to recycle, the problem will be solved, my opinion. Or Ottawa Valley Tourist Association sponsorship. I don't think this is an area where we will get involved. Yeah. Notice of application to AGCO.
That's so fun. I'm glad he's applying for a liquor license. That's lovely.
And cannabis.
And, yeah, sorry.
Okay,
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
council-
no.
we have no action on that. That's just for our information at this time.
We can make comment, but it is permitted in the zone that the building is zoned in. So there's no zoning issues, there's no permission from the municipality. If there was a comment that, the only reason why I included in there is if there was a comment that council wanted to make. Congratulations, I don't have to submit that to alcohol.
No, but I think.
But that's really, if we had any concerns, any thoughts, any, you know, it's
Okay.
fully permitted in our current zoning, so. We've put no rules, it's a retail space selling retail goods under a license that's beyond our control.
I state I have no strong opinion on the matter.
Okay,
The laneway between Wallace and Knox Terrace, I think we had documentation to
so,
support that. So do we leave that for closed now?
no,
Oh, sorry.
so as long as council is okay with, basically surplusing that piece of land
Mhm.
that we don't use and we don't maintain,
Mhm.
that the three homeowners around it maintain, they've expressed interest. This is, again, a housekeeping issue that probably should have been dealt with, you know,
Years ago.
20 years ago, but unless the neighbors say, hey, wait a minute, we don't own this. And then one of them says, let's go to council, it got left. So, this was, I was approached about this. I didn't even know we owned it, so.
Yeah, Jason has no issue with, like it's a lane.
Yeah.
They're using it now. I've talked to all three property owners, they're all, ready to go. So if council's in agreement in principle to declare surplus and sell, then it'll just follow our policy and they'll deal with Erica and she'll get a survey and it's $5 per linear foot compared to the.
Again,
And
I think it's a very reasonable move.
Okay.
Nice
And
to see them figure it out between themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. That's what I said too, to one of the residents. To the resident that approached me, I'm like, I love it when neighbors make it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's novel, but it works.
Okay.
Correspondence C, sadly none today.
Yeah.
Okay, new unfinished business. Meredith has an item to bring up.
Yeah, so I was thinking, I have felt for a while that Eganville and Bon Jour Valley have a particular affinity to Halloween. That people go all out here, and I know in the years past that you've recognized particular members of the community who go above and beyond. I thought that perhaps as a council, we should just brag a little bit publicly about how great this township is at celebrating. Last year I went to
Lecbourne Manor.
Lecbourne Manor on
Yeah.
41, scared the bejesus out of me. But it was honestly, you should go and see. It is mind blowing what they do. That people just do this. It's like Christmas on steroids, you know, like they just put so much into these things. And I think to recognize it and also throw down the gauntlet with
Yeah.
the rest of the valley, I would love to see us declare and recognize the extraordinary enthusiasm and installations that happen in this township, and that recognizing Bon Chevre Valley as the Halloween capital of the Ottawa Valley. And I don't,
Renfrew County,
of Renfrew County,
Renfrew
what did
County.
I say?
Ottawa Valley.
No, I meant
Let's do
Renfrew
Renfrew
County.
County.
No,
'cause then
Renfrew
I
County.
can throw down a county tomorrow.
Exactly, that
We just need a
recognize- I mean,
hashtag.
nothing stops us from recognizing ourselves and just saying bravo to our, but I've been around and I don't think anyone does it like they do it here.
No,
So,
but
and even if they do, we still do it
Still
great.
better.
It's still
it's
good.
gotten crazier.
Yeah.
Like it's,
People come from all over.
but it's grown exponentially, I feel, over
Like-
the last few
It's
years.
like that snowball thing, right?
Right. But we named Shannon Kelly the Queen of Scream.
Hmm.
And then it was almost, and then we had a couple of contests about their decorations, but I feel like driving through the village. It's gotten exponentially bigger,
Hmm.
but
Tara
with all
Chance.
due respect to Lecbourne Manor, I will go and congratulate them. I do not like scary things at all. I do not like to be scared. I don't like scary movies.
No.
I just don't like to be scared, so I'm not gonna do their haunted walk, but I will go and say congratulations.
It's phenomenal. I don't like scary things either, but it
And
it
it's
was
good
worth
for
it
the
to
Jeepers
be-
out of you.
It did. It was worth it. And seeing the kids, the lineup also,
Yeah.
people are waiting half an hour to go in and then they go through it and they go back
Go back in
again.
line.
And they
Oh
go
my-
back in line again. And just they're doing it, you know,
Yeah,
nobody's, you know, it's not a business.
Just because Christmas is not enough for some people.
That's right. And what's nice about it also is it's non-denominational, it's inclusive as well.
it is.
I mean, as much as I love Christmas, and I love all the other, you know, celebrations, there's something about Halloween that's really inclusive. So I just thought that this would be like a fun thing to do.
Not if you don't like scary things.
But it's not even
It's
for
not
them.
offensive at all.
It's not just them, you drive around, you know, all over,
Crazy.
all through Main Street, and on Halloween Day, the streets are filled, like when I was a kid, it used to be, I lived in a place where there was no cars, it was a townhouse complex, and it was swarming with kids, and like being here again, it warms my heart because it feels like kind of the 70s again, where people are out in the world, and it's just wonderful, so I'd love to celebrate it. Well, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever.
No, I love it. So.
So I don't know if we write it in the together or in the break between now and the next meeting.
Sure.
Any
Yeah.
objections or
I
other
love
thoughts?
it.
And where could we list the places they should go to see? If I haven't heard of this place, I
Oh,
mean,
no,
the ones on the main
we
drag.
just don't want to leave anybody out. I
Yeah.
wouldn't list anybody. I would just say Bon Chevre Valley as a whole, especially the village of
Come check it
Eganville.
out.
Yeah, come check it out. And then Sarah,
Okay.
we've decreed it, you know, the Halloween capital of the
Yeah,
county of the county of Renfrew, not
Yes,
Renfrew County.
That's right.
And then tomorrow at county council, I'll throw down the gauntlet and see if anybody wants to take us on.
Or the guillotine.
I like it.
Good, I like it too. Very good. So, any other new unfinished business? Next meeting date, I think, has already been established as,
November 4th.
it's good. Media session.
Annette, did you say something about a canteen there?
Oh, I was just talking about, when we were talking about the youth building at the Legion Field. So, last spring, we tried to get a canteen going there with the, because
Okay.
minor hockey runs the canteen for, at the arena.
Right.
And so we tried to get, soccer and, ball
Mhm.
to do like a joint running the canteen there. Anyway, it didn't take off the ground, so, you know, we'll continue to try and work with, because they do use the facilities quite a bit. So, and they would kind of be you know, that, those are who's gonna, also gonna be served, right? That's there a lot, so, yeah. I think-
But it wasn't the canteen at the arena.
Oh, no, at the
Oh.
youth building.
Yes, that's
So-
what she just, I just heard. the
Oh, sorry.
canteen,
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
just thought,
Yeah, no, the canteen, the
Canteen,
arena
the arena
still,
is
you know, minor hockey's still running it, so.
yeah, okay. Good.
Good
When
thing
I
you
have a
got that
crisis at
straight
the
before-
arena, yes.
No crisis
before
at the
press time,
arena.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I used to spend a lot of hours there. I don't as much anymore, but the prospect of no canteen at the arena is.
Yeah, no,
Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks.
So why don't we take a break? When we come back, you can take us into closed.
And we'll be.
While we're on the break, can everybody read what I wrote, please? And, yeah, I think that'll work. Now, okay, wait a minute.
okay,
Yes,
Okay.
we're going to break for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then what I'll do is I will, when we go into closed, I'll call Tracy.
Okay.
Otherwise
Yeah.
she can't participate.
Mhm.
Tracy, did you get the email?
I'm just looking now,
Okay,
but I'm
good.
pretty sure. Yes, I got it.
Oh, good.
okay.
For all legal administrative options for the acquisition, condemnation, or expropriation.
Thanks. So. I'm new. I'm new here.
Okay, over to you.
Welcome back. At this point in time, we would like to move into a closed session to discuss certain matters that need to be done there, and I need a resolution for that. Merv? Just need a mover for this.
Okay.
Dated on this 21st day of October 2025, moved by Merv Buckwald, that committee proceed in closed session in accordance with the Municipal Act 2001, section 239.2 to deal with matters as indicated below, a proposed or pending acquisition of land by the municipality. In favor? Thank you. We are now closed.
Gotta bring us back.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, that's for out of close. I have a resolution dated this 21st day of October 2025, moved by Meredith Jameson. That committee moves out of closed session at 5:10 PM to rise and report that the committee met to receive information and authorize the mayor and staff to explore all legal and administrative options for the acquisition of the former Eganville Creamery property and adjacent lands, and approved minutes from the October 7, 2005 meeting. All in favor? Thank you, carried. Is Meredith Jameson sufficient?
Yes, I I have Meredith Jameson here, but yes. I'll sign it, Meredith Kaplan Jameson probably, but
Okay, I'm happy to do, but
Yeah.
for now, okay.
yeah.
And we're back.
We're done. Do you need me to sign that or is it later?
No, I think I just sign it
Okay.
and then I give it to them.
And adjournment.
And it's time to adjourn. Have I a mover for that?
Yep. Oh, Tracy.
Tracy,
Okay. I keep forgetting my phone's over there.
all in favor of adjourn? Thank you very
Okay.
much.
We hand in our pink sheets?
Yes.
Tracy.